Our top movies of 2024, the best of MCFC this year, and the gang succumbs to the Robert Eggers.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call. Bueller.
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimblett to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates, and welcome to Middle Class Film Class End of Year Edition. I'm your host for today, Joseph.
I'm Peter.
I'm Tyler.
All right.
We have a great show for you today. Welcome everyone on YouTube Live and otherwise, and of course, the OG classmates in podcast land, audio world.
Yeah, that's right.
Welcome to the end of the 2024 as we enter into 2025, quarter century, going through a quarter century crisis.
I mean, I
of sorts.
guess.
That's what I did when I turned 25.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I went through
What did that look like?
A midlife crisis.
What did that look like?
I was just freshly divorced.
A lot of a lot of writs.
It was post 9/11.
Yeah,
For me.
Yep.
They just hit the second tower, actually.
Yeah, it was a really, really delayed
Yeah.
second tower hit.
I don't know. What
Welcome
was
back, Tyler.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be back in the studio.
I'm excited to hear your thoughts on Paul Blart.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't have a lot of thoughts on it. Really.
Was Joseph correct in his assumption that you did watch it Saturday morning, assuming you were going to be here Saturday to record, knowing that we were recording on Sunday?
Or forgetting that we were recording.
Yeah.
Yes, that assumption is correct.
Okay, so you did watch it.
Yes.
Give us a grade.
Definitely a D.
Really?
D? Okay.
Yeah, it was. Jesus Christ,
Dude,
man.
what the fuck?
Jesus Christ.
You didn't
man.
find any discerning good from our Lord and Savior, Paul Blart.
Okay, so I thought about it. The Seth Rogen Mall Cop movie came out pretty congruently with Paul Blart, and so they were kind of confused. Like,
Yeah, a couple of months apart from each other.
yeah, so there was a little bit of confusion. Like, oh, the Seth Rogen one is going to be just kind of as zany as the Kevin Smith one, and
Yeah, continue.
it's not Kevin Smith.
Kevin
it's
James.
Kevin James.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Kevin Smith did Clerks. That's okay. Continue. We don't need a whole dissertation.
They're
but
both chubby white men.
yeah.
Well, true that. And so the other one with Seth Rogen, that one is a little bit more heady than the Paul Blart.
It's definitely
Mall Cop,
counterculture.
and the Paul Blart Mall Cop one was it was a cash grab.
Didn't
Yeah.
that one come out first?
I think so.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
okay, then.
And so, I mean, I think, sit your toddler in front of it. They'll have fun with, bumbling people falling
The
over each other.
parkour thieves.
It kind of made me, it was a really introspective kind of movie too, as well, because you see all of these adults making this movie, like you see it on screen. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like what is this? Like,
Oh, like on set?
Yeah,
Like, what is
just-
this joke we're
Like-
telling right now?
I thought about this. I didn't want to go too deep into Paul Blart, but here we are. I thought about this when I was listening back to the episode editing, and like it's really easy to shit on something like a Paul Blart, a character like that, or an Adam Sandler, Hubie Halloween, or whatever. Which I fucking loved Hubie Halloween, and it's easy to hate on it. But what we don't hate on is Jim Varney as Ernest, who's a grown-ass man entertaining children for a living.
Perhaps
Yeah,
a senior citizen.
but
Yeah,
that's-
he's a literally
But
grown-ass man.
that's the difference between
He's a character playing a dope, hurting
Yeah.
himself and acting a fool like a clown,
right.
like Kevin James is or
Yeah.
Adam Sandler is.
But Kevin Smith, that was a joke. So the difference between that and Paul Blart is that Paul Blart feels disingenuous rather than
Earnest.
Earnest
is literally earnest.
Yeah, like I mean,
Honest Ernest.
I mean, like it feels if so. When I was watching Paul Blart, I was thinking, okay, well, everyone knows who is a part of like the film, fandom, is that they know that Adam Sandler, he makes his movies because he's so successful, like they're vacations for him.
They vacation to the mall in New
And
Jersey.
so I feel like this project was
It's
just
just an excuse to go to New Jersey.
yeah, and just to
Sorry, I hijacked your pre-pod, Joseph.
It's
I got
okay.
Ty- I got Tyler-
I asked Tyler.
I got
Yeah.
Tyler going down a road that is.
I mean, I
can't follow.
Yeah.
Well, I follow. I spelled it out.
You're going down a path I can't follow.
Yeah.
I was a
so-
child.
so
I
you
was
did-
in love.
So you didn't
It
like
was wrong, and you knew it.
wrong movie.
Oh yeah.
So you didn't like it.
No. I
No, did you get a chuckle out of it at least?
I did get a
What
chuckle
part
out
made
of
you
it.
laugh? Where he's drunk?
Where he's drunk.
Tyler loves
That
when
was-
he sees himself on screen.
That's what I do.
Hey, that looks familiar. Picture of margaritas.
Yeah. No, I did get a chuckle out of it because you recommended it, Joseph. That's what I was laughing at. I was like,
Oh,
Joseph.
not the movie.
It wasn't the movie. It was just like,
Oh, okay.
I was just like, Joseph, you son of a bee.
Yeah. Well, get ready because the second one is gonna
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's gonna land on it someday.
Yeah, I can't
Not next
wait.
week though,
Yeah, I can't wait.
or not this week.
By the way, chat's on fire.
Who?
Dallas is in the chat.
Dallas.
Chat is on fire.
Eric Holmes from Cinematics. Ryan.
For once.
Angry Otter. Yeah, Ryan's on. Ryan popped in just to say that he didn't care, or John, Diamond J, did not care for Nosferatu. They fell asleep.
Well, Ryan fell asleep.
Yeah, Ryan fell asleep. And Dal says he tried with an open mind for Paul Blart and it didn't work. But Eric says he likes
I did
stupid
too.
sometimes.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah. But yeah, it's great to be back in the studio.
But
Thanks
you
for
describe Paul
having me.
Blart the best way. It's like a kids movie for adults,
Yeah, pretty much.
or adult movie for kids, and it goes both ways. I think
It's a kids movie for adults.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't outright 100% feel like a kids movie because the characters aren't children.
Well, yeah, I mean, like there's alcohol involved. Like,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
kids
But
see their parents drinking.
it has like a childish look at alcoholism.
Yeah, if I drink this one margarita, that's it.
That's
Yeah.
it. It's
because
done.
he doesn't drink.
Give me
Yeah.
the picture.
Yeah,
because
so
he has,
neither do kids, and neither should
man, I really wish I was a part of that episode.
It's actually kind of like pro cop propaganda because he wants to be a cop.
they? But then he turns it down at the end because
True,
he comes
he
to his
does.
senses.
and he's like, no, I just want to. Yeah, because a cop gets paid like what, like 70 to 6 figures a year.
It's their
And
with the
then-
amount of overtime they have, it's
and
quite a
then,
bit.
and then the mall cop is getting
And for
paid
little
like
they do, it's crazy.
$45,000 a year.
If that.
He's really passionate about protecting that mall.
I think my favorite part was that he gives the trainee an example of how to pretend like you have a gun. It's like hold with your hip back and your hand on your hip,
Yeah.
obscuring your hips, so that it gives you the appearance that you have a gun, but everybody knows that you don't.
I
have
know
a gun.
this is a movie podcast, but I've done that before.
You
yeah, in 7-Eleven.
you pretended you had a gun?
No.
You
I mean,
did have a gun.
No, I did not have a gun. Do you think someone's gonna sell a gun to me?
No.
Yes, with our laws, absolutely you can get a gun,
well,
and
maybe
that's
so.
the problem. See, on this episode, we're going to talk about gun control.
No.
Diving into the Second Amendment.
Yep.
We got a representative from the NRA on the line.
Yeah,
Oh, jeez.
Charlton
You know, you
Heston,
can
rest in piss.
never mind.
Anyway. All right. Let's get into some gab and chatter. It's a question.
I thought that's what we were doing.
Find some charity, ye lad. Now's the time for gab and chatter.
Gab and chatter movie news. This episode's a little unconventional, but it's all part of Gab and chatter, I think. No news stories today.
yeah, no news.
We're gonna be doing our top fives, a couple of top five lists.
But we should talk about the Batman being moved to 2027.
No, we're not talking about
that is unfortunate.
That's next year. We'll talk about that
Yeah.
for
Okay.
next year's
Right.
news. 2025, we'll talk about it for 2027 news.
I know.
Okay.
And then it'll be
Fucking
delayed
so far.
God,
again.
it just
Yeah.
Well, it's only
there's so much speculation.
almost 3 years away. It's in October of 2027. Anyway, so we're gonna be getting those top five lists, but first, we have to talk about the vampire in the room.
yes,
right?
Yes.
And the fact that we all saw it.
Mm-hmm.
We all got to see it. We're all able to see it.
Yeah,
The Nosferatu.
much anticipated.
Tyler, do you see it in a traditional theater or IMAX?
I just saw it in a traditional theater.
Okay,
yes.
so you saw it in regular. I saw it in Limax, and Joseph saw it in True IMAX.
In IMAX.
Yeah, True
Although I
IMAX.
don't know if it was filmed for IMAX.
It was not.
I don't know.
No. It was
but-
filmed for digital Dolby.
Yeah, I was gonna say my theater had really good audio at the very least. It was Dolby theater. Which
Yeah.
was so good.
I choose the IMAX theater because it's close to me. It's like the closest theater to me. Other than the Tower Theater, which I don't even know if it was Nosferatu was playing there. Mainstream movies don't usually like that. Mainstream of movies don't usually go there.
Yeah,
I don't know. I saw the lighthouse at the tower.
So did I, but Edgar's at the time I don't think was that,
he wasn't. He was
that
pretty
big of a
obscure,
name.
yeah.
That makes sense.
So we all saw it. Came out Christmas Day, and we're gonna talk about it. And
Sweet.
Eric, I know you said you're gonna go see it in an hour, so I don't know if we want to get into. I mean, I don't care. It's obviously a remake, so the spoilers and stuff.
we can. I think we can talk about the broad plot points. You know,
There's not too many.
hey,
like,
surprise! Count Olaf dies at the end because that's how the story goes.
Olaf.
Yeah, Orlok. Sorry,
Yeah, Olaf.
Count Olaf.
There
the
isn't, like-
snowman from Frozen.
I mean, there isn't like any super twists or reveals or anything about
No,
the
not
whole,
really.
about
No,
the
it's
plot
a-
or anything.
I think probably the biggest part of it that's a little bit surprising is how he looks.
Oh yes.
That was a bit. They obscured all of it from the media, from previews and stuff, which I
Yes.
appreciated.
Yeah.
And I guess the difference in powers that he has, and the different like iterations of powers, because it felt similar in some ways and different in other ways than the previous iterations.
Well,
Yeah.
let's just get into grades right here.
Right
and
in the
now.
get go.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
All right. Go ahead. You first.
A.
A.
Solid A.
Just A. Cool.
Okay. I'm like still on a movie high.
It's been 2 days for you though.
I know.
I watched mine last night, 10 o'clock showing p.m.
It was
that's-
like
yeah.
we're right coming right out of the theater. I was like, man, that was an A+ movie.
Yeah.
But like, if I watch it again, and I've been wanting to watch it again, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm like A bordering A+ right now.
Okay.
I'm edging to that A+.
I'll give it an A+, but it's not a 5-star. It's like 4.5. There were some things about it that I some of the cracks showed for me. Like I didn't agree with a couple of the decisions in the overall filmmaking, but as a vibe piece, it's like it's about as dark and brooding and like gothic and fucking psychologically creepy
Yeah.
as you can expect for a vampire movie.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about it.
I think what I really enjoyed about this movie was Robert Eggers, like, so this is his fourth film, and what he succeeds on his films is that he moves the story forward, like at a pace that is comfortable for the audience, at least for me as an audience member. And so when I was watching this movie, there was like, I was thinking about this on the drive over to the studio, because I was thinking about Nosferatu, because I was full of beans to talk about it. And
Okay.
Full of beans.
yeah,
Oh.
He's
Pinto, black, garbanzo.
let's go
Chickpea.
with Pinto. Let's go with
Those are-
Pinto.
those
No,
are
Pinto.
garbanzo.
Pinto.
Kidney.
I do like kidney beans.
Maybe green, perhaps.
No, not green beans.
Get to it,
No,
Tyler.
Anyway, well, we're talking about beans now. Anyways,
You brought up the beans.
I just said I was full of beans. Anyways, so when I was thinking about like how I could make a metaphor for this film, it's like walking a trail. So you see a bunch of cool things, you know, maybe you see a lizard, you see a cool rock, you see a cool tree, and you're like, all right, yeah, this is a good hike, this is a good trail. I'm having a great time. The weather is perfect. And then in the middle, you're like, man, how long is this hike? And then you find something cool, like once you have that thought, and then you end the hike. There's like this like really cool sunset or something, and you're like, that was a really great hike. Like, I'm gonna remember this. And that's how I felt about all Eggers movies.
Okay.
Because
what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
I don't think it is, but
So
I
it's
think
like it's like a nice hike that you find a cool rock on.
correct. Yeah.
Okay.
I think,
But you're wondering when it's going to end?
No, I was thinking that like so it lulled for a second. So it was like kind of like when you're on that hike, you're like, man, when's this hike gonna end? And then you're like, oh wait, there's something cool right there. I don't know. Maybe that's the ADHD talking in me. I don't know, but I thought this movie was really cool because it felt so wintry. Like it felt like a really wintry movie.
Was it the snow?
It's like a wintry hike where you find a cool rock.
Well, it felt so cold. Like you could feel like the brisk. Like it's like when you
Maybe you were just cold.
maybe.
Tyler didn't run his socks through the dryer long enough. He was wearing wet socks.
God,
Yeah, I think that more than
it
anything,
was strangely sexual too.
strangely sexual, overtly sexual.
It was really weird.
I mean, the biggest thing for me is that there's a million iterations of this, but the two that kind of, I should say, the three that come to me as really cornerstone movies, like of like the originals is the original.
The silent one. Yeah.
FWRNO. It's like 101 years ago or something. 102 years ago it was made.
Yeah.
And then Werner Herzog's Nosferatu the Vampire,
Yes.
1979. And then you have...
Wasn't there a 70s one?
and then there's... that's 79.
Oh.
That's Werner Herzog. And then you have Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula, which I think Bram Stoker's Dracula is quite different. You have some of the story plots, but it's more broad and it's more like a retelling from Bram Stoker's. I don't... Those are the three really different vibe movies. It's like... The original silent one, the Count is just a creep. He's very creepy, but not overtly like threatening.
Yeah.
It's more silly, goofy, creepy.
Yeah, he's like and then in Werner Herzog's, it's Klaus Kinski, and he's legitimately scary.
Yeah.
But the movie is just it's limited, I think, by the rough nature of like how filmmaking was in that era, and also the way that Werner shoots stuff. It's pretty rough and pretty gritty, but not like polished. And this had a lot of style and a lot of like really great attention to detail in Eggers' version. And then you have Francis Ford Coppola's, which I fucking love, and it's just like bonkers. It's bananas. It's over the top. The outfits are crazy. The accents are crazy. Keanu Reeves stinks.
Yeah.
But they all have different vibes to it, and I think Eggers pulled a little from each one. The soundtrack from this version, the new version, feels almost exactly like Werner's version. The soundtrack is like this long, brooding sort of cello and viola score or oboe or whatever that is. That's that long throughout the entire thing.
I didn't really notice the score too much in this one. Only in certain parts of the movie did I actually like hear a score.
It's more like undertones than actual music. Yeah, just like vibing tonal stuff.
Because when it actually starts playing music, it's like a moment in the movie that is a little bit more impactful than just overall.
Yeah. Well, it was more than anything. What I appreciated about this that I didn't like about the original silent one was, like Tyler said, the pacing of the film. It puts you forward, one foot in front of the other. You're constantly getting to the point because you know what's going to happen. Yeah. You've seen the story a million times. Starts here. He goes off to the castle, and putting all the more like visual aspects of it. Like when he stops at the gypsy area, the Romani.
That was, I think
that was a great little small section.
Yes.
And then once he actually gets to the castle, I actually felt his fear.
Yeah.
Instead of, in some previous iterations, it's like, ooh, that's a spooky castle, and ooh, it's a well lit and all this stuff, and you're like, he's walking through literal darkness.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're watching the screen like, oh, what the fuck? Where is he? And it keeps cutting back to his face, and he gets more and more moist,
imposing,
more and more frightened, and he feels like his life is going to end at any moment. And you can see tears welling up in his eyes, and it's like Nicholas Hoult killed it in that scene.
Yeah, he did.
And
it's interesting because like I thought he would be the weaker part in that movie, and I think
he was, but only because Lily Rose Depp was phenomenal.
Well, I think Aaron Taylor Johnson was the weakest part of the whole movie.
He was fun, but at a little.
He had one good moment of really great acting.
Which one?
At the funeral.
At the funeral.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I think that was.
And when he goes back.
Yeah, I think that was the point of him, was that he's unfeeling, unflinching. He's a capitalist that has.
He reminded me of like the cowboy from Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you guys laugh at any part in the film?
Yeah.
Did I laugh?
Defoe.
Yeah.
Couple parts of Defoe.
Defoe, yeah.
Because I disturbed some audience
His
members.
extremely long pipe.
She will rave all night. Then let her rave. Then rave she shall, or something like that.
When she
Anytime
did-
he had his
when-
long pipe is when I laughed.
He pulls it out.
His comically long pipe.
Isn't it apparent?
when Lily
You
Rose
fool.
when Lily Rose Depp's character when she did the weird possession face, the theater was silent and I was cackling.
Oh God.
You know what?
I was like,
I would have hated you.
Yeah, I know. I would have
it
thrown.
was funny.
I would have thrown my shoe at you. I'm so glad we don't go to movies together anymore.
Yeah,
I love you,
yeah.
Tyler, but
No,
that's something we'll never do
Well, I
again.
appreciate the love that you have for me, but I've already come to realize that we probably shouldn't. You probably shouldn't see a movie with me.
Joseph, what do you think?
I like going to the movie like you were saying, it's a story of that's kind of been told many times. I kind of like went all out of my head as soon as I was watching this movie. Not by like choice or just by nature of just like me going in, this is a new movie.
Yeah.
And that was a weird sound.
That was my throat.
Oh, okay.
Doing something weird.
Why did you look at me?
Because you're known for weird mouth noises.
Oh, I see.
on mic. But like, just like every like fucking second and every frame of this movie was it's like the second. If Dune 2 didn't come out this year, this would be the best looking movie of the year.
Yeah.
And it's honestly like almost on par to that level of
It's completely on the opposite side of the spectrum, too.
of like in terms of brightness.
Yeah, brightness and darkness. Yeah.
and wetness instead of sand.
That's a good point. Great point.
And it's like the shot composition, the camera movements. I was so kind of fixated on how they were moving this camera over this bed, up the stairs, into this room. And I mean, the shot of the hand going over the city is fantastic.
That was awesome.
And
I really loved that.
there were a lot of shots where it felt like it was like a gothic Wes Anderson. And
That's interesting.
the use of shadows in this movie is insane because it's almost all shadow.
Yeah.
And I was always kind of a little bit disappointed when they would cut to like a day scene.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, man, let's go back to the
back to the
night
night."
stuff. When he's walking up to that castle, or
the crossroad?
the carriage, and you see him walking down that path, and it's like an upside down cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
With the big glow at the very end of the road.
was so well done, and then him walking into the carriage, and it transitions into him floating into the
I was going to
carriage.
say, yeah, the float. He's getting pulled into the carriage.
It was just all of that, all of that technical stuff was just so well executed, using only candlelight as your main light source, and you could see it in the scenes. You could see the like incredibly shallow depth of focus that they had when they're inside a room because they're shooting wide open on a lens. And that's what happens when you shoot wide open on a lens is that you're
Very low depth
your
of field.
shallow depth, your depth of field is like the millimeters or inches, and you can see it. And also you can see the giant wicks on those candles.
Yeah.
On some of those candles.
I did notice that.
But like just from the cinematography standpoint, like Jaron Blaschke just has gotten so much better. Each movie he's done with Eggers, and I'm pretty sure he did all of his movies at this point, and it's insane.
On the technical aspect, I was watching The Lighthouse a few weeks back with the commentary on, and Eggers was talking. It was Eggers on the commentary, and he was saying how they shot that film with a really funky film that needs a lot of exposure on it.
Yeah.
So when they're doing those like dinner scenes, the two of them, and it's super dark in the room.
Yeah.
He says the room is actually so bright that everyone has to squint while watching because
Yeah.
they're shooting it. It needs so much light.
Yeah, that's old film stock. That's how it used to be.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So, I mean, I agree with you. The technical aspects, every time I'd see a funky shot that was just like, ooh, that's cool. And I'm thinking, how the fuck did they do that?
Yeah, because when he's walking into that dining hall up the stairs, the camera
Gorgeous.
moves up the stairs into the dining hall, and it's just like how maneuvering around the built set. And
It has to be a false wall on this side, a move up with a big like a jib or something like that, and then push through, and maybe they'll digitally add some walls back in.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, there was.
That's how they do it with like the roof of the Children of Men shot.
It could be that.
Yeah,
I would love to see obviously some behind the scenes of it, and like the story is the story, and it was like engaging enough, and the acting was fantastic, but like
The technicality of it is really what got you off.
And the final like scene of the movie was so like it was so beautiful and fucking terrifying.
Well, I mean, this was Robert Eggers' passion project.
Yeah.
It was like
and he actually said himself, because I watched an interview with him, he said, I'm glad I made this movie when I did instead of when I wanted to make it, because he said that The Northman was like the learning curve that he needed to make Nosferatu.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad he did it now as opposed to like after The Witch, because it would have been a totally different movie, and the funding. I mean, I don't know, but like that last final frame, it was like a painting
with the skinny legs. That one.
Yes, it was so well like lit, composed, blocked, everything.
It's interesting. That was one of my least favorite shots.
Really?
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch it and kind of take a second look at that. But I was like, to me, it felt more like we're seeing a version of Orlok that I didn't need. I don't know. I liked the whole like desiccated corpse look to him.
Yes,
and he looked more like a true corpse. I felt like he was more like a very strong zombie than a vampire.
I mean, that's what Eggers has talked about this a lot in interviews, and like obviously going into the actual like lore of vampires and like getting away from the tropes, how it turned into biting the neck and then burning away in the sun. It made sense the way he did it at the end, because I was like, is he gonna burn away like 30 Days of Night or something?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But no, it's more of like an internal death that you see, and then the eyes it was so well done. And then he's talked about in interviews as well as like the explanation of why vampires don't or can't go in the sunlight. It's not because like they're allergic to the sun. It's more like they're not, the sunrise is too pure for them to be out in it. Yeah. And then the stake through the heart is not necessarily a stake through the heart that kills them. It's more like a stake to pin them to the ground.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
And there's a lot more to it, obviously, but that was just what I gathered.
I think what I really liked about this iteration of Nosferatu as well is that the main antagonist is very imposing on the story.
He's fucking terrifying.
He's actually creepy.
He's actually a threat too. Like he's physically imposing. He has mind control over almost everybody he comes into contact with.
He brings the plague to a town.
Yeah. Which was a really central feature of the Werner Herzog version.
Yeah.
But it's like even when he's coming up into the mountain, he starts losing his mind. The madness is taking him before he's even in the presence of Orlok.
Yeah.
Which is great.
I really like
also,
that.
he hangs dong.
That scene scared the fuck out of me.
It did me too.
I scared the fuck out of me.
Jumped the shit out of me.
I think that was what we were missing in a lot of vampire media that has been given to us over the past 2 decades, is that vampires have been portrayed as like the seductive, something you want to be. I wish I could be a vampire.
I was thinking that too.
This movie really solidified. No,
this is not a good thing.
This is not a great thing.
Yeah.
And
well,
Brianna
always says that she's like, if vampirism was real, I would get bit in a heartbeat. She's like romanticizes it. She loves it, and she's more or less a vampire already. She's allergic to garlic. She stays up. She basically is awake more during the twilight hours than she is during the daylight. Very pale skin, all this stuff, right? Anemic, but it after she didn't watch it with me, she didn't go to the theater. But after she watches this, I'm curious to see how she takes it, because that whole sort of like sexualized, romanticized interview with the vampire style vampire, or even
romantic
Bram Stoker style, like Gary Oldman, he's a monster, but he's also charming like
Yeah.
man about town sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Man about town.
There is no. I was waiting for him to change forms.
Yeah.
Orlok to kind of turn into the suave sort of whatever and like heal himself with all the blood sucking.
Yeah.
But nah, he was just like
Just a monster.
He was just
basically dry humping the body and sucking the blood out.
decomposing. Oh god, the sound effect of him
Yeah.
drinking that blood is so unsettling.
Yeah.
Also, Civil War and Nosferatu both tie for sound design of the year. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would agree. I didn't enjoy Civil War, but the sound design really gets you into the screen.
Yeah, there's just I didn't expect the mustache,
Oh yeah.
but I feel like it makes sense.
I love that
He's an old Romanian.
I was gonna say I love that they made him look more Slavic.
Yeah.
He's not a British Gary Oldman or whatever. Or he's just
just a tall fuck.
Just the freaking voice like gets in
big-ass
your
old
ears though
Romanian
too.
dude,
Like he would be like,
Bill Skarsgård.
"You do this."
Bill Skarsgård absolutely was lost in that.
Oh my god, yeah.
Colin Farrell in The Penguin and
Yeah,
Bill Skarsgård in Orlok.
You can't really, other than the eyes, really, you can't really see that he's there. I mean, he's
really
in
good.
darkness a lot of the time, but even in that opening sequence where you see him for that flash frame,
Yeah.
that also scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, me too.
Well, 2 points that I want to make about this movie before we move on is one, I didn't really like the theater experience of it.
Neither did your other people in your theater.
Everybody else that was sharing your theater with you.
Yeah, that's true too. And actually, I had a they made a specific cocktail at the Palladio, at the Folsom Palladio, and
Cocktail.
Of course you went to the Palladio.
Yeah.
Palladio.
and
In Folsom? Eldorado Hill?
yeah,
El Dorado Hills,
they
Folsom,
they
right
had the
on the
count.
border.
They had the Count Orlok cocktail. I had it, and I was
What was
drinking. It was
Just
soda.
pure grenadine. Just pure grenadine
It was,
syrup.
it was soda water, vodka, cucumber, and lemon, I think. I don't know. It was just a regular cocktail. But I drank it every time Warlock came on the screen. I was like,
You had a drink.
He had 20 of them.
I drank
not have 20
I
of
drank a whole one.
No, that was-
every time he came on the screen.
that was a freaking $16 cocktail. I did not have 20 of them.
$16.
Man of the people over here. Seeing a $25 seat, $16
You said
drinks.
wait,
So I didn't like the theater experience because I felt like this movie needs to be like viewed in a very, for
as
myself,
small
I-
a screen as possible.
for like a small screen
On a
with
phone.
headphones on, not a phone,
On a
with headphones
iPod
on,
Nano.
like just in a very isolated. I feel like this movie is a very great viewing for like an isolated experience.
I loved the big open theater. I watched it in Dolby, so the sound was percussive.
Honestly,
and-
like seeing it in IMAX, like it may be overkill, but like the sound.
oh yeah.
The sound was great.
The
The
sound
sound was
was
great.
like just
There was 2 or 3 moments where I'm like, okay, this is a lot.
But my
the sound
point,
is a lot.
my point being is like this movie feels like a very good movie to watch alone.
Okay.
Like okay,
alone.
alone.
We need to
And
move
then-
on to that something else, but I have one small thing before because we got a lot of other rankings to do and streaming picks. I sent a picture to the group chat.
What?
Yeah, that's the face that Lily Rose Depp makes when she's possessed.
Oh yeah.
I'm the leprechaun. I'm the leprechaun. Oh, I get you a pot of gold. Wayne's World.
Great,
As soon as I
great
saw
stuff.
her, it was like that.
Yeah.
Or Terry Gilliam. Terry Gilliam or one of the Monty Python guys who plays Patsy the horse in Holy Grail. He always has that. His jaws jutted out forward like that, like a big underbite.
Yeah.
And it was, as soon as she did that, I was like, okay, that's kind of goofy.
My other point, last point, and then I'll be done.
Okay.
Is Lily Rose Depp?
Do not say anything creepy about right now.
Why?
Every time we watch a movie with a woman is topless, you start creeping out. We
I
lose
do?
all of our female followers. You're like, Florence Pugh. She was hot, dude.
I do. No.
Yes, you do. So please keep it above level.
I said this was. I said to my mom after the movie. I said to her, You know, she's a hot woman. I'm just kidding. No, I think this is a this
I'm
is
about to have the hardest boner right now.
Tyler, get to it.
This movie is going to. She proved her acting chops. This was a trial run for her, and she proved herself. And I believe that she's going to have greater projects in the future.
Yeah.
I really do.
Her, Nicholas Hoult, everybody. Killed it.
Everyone was just so goddamn good. In
Willem
this
Dafoe.
movie.
Yeah.
He's got a future ahead of him.
I think he's got what it takes.
Willem Dafoe was actually the weakest part of that movie.
Wrong-o.
Aaron Taylor Johnson was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I mean, I can't recommend it enough. It's
Yeah.
so fucking good.
Yeah. I mean, I am a Eggers fanboy. I'm wearing my the Witch shirt right now. So
Yeah, it's hard. I'm like, is there anything that I didn't like about it? Is there anything I didn't like about it? It wasn't longer.
yeah.
I want it to be longer,
It was the exact.
but it felt
amount.
appropriate.
Yeah.
It felt like it started and finished where it needed to. That's what I tell myself.
very, very good.
It was the appropriate amount of time.
Yeah.
Okay. Any longer, it would have just been extra.
Yeah, just showing off at that point.
Yeah.
What are we making a movie over here? Or what?
All right. Let's get into some top fives.
Yeah, top fives.
We have no jingle for it. Top fives. 2024 top. What do you think the top 25 movies? 2024 top 5 movies. 2024 are.
very good. Very good.
I
Professional.
did it. Why do you have to use my drop?
Because I don't have one. Yeah.
Who wants to go first, Tyler?
Let's just list them all at once per person. I think it'll probably take 5, 5, 5, 4, 4.
Tyler, do your top five. Top 5 new movies of 2024.
Ranked from 5 to 1.
Oh, from 5 to 1.
Yes.
I know this is a novel concept.
Jeez. I mean, just any movie or
And that you watched and liked.
Oh, what? Really? Jesus.
Top 5
I
movies.
thought we were talking about 2024.
That's what we're talking about.
No, yeah, 2024.
Your top 5 2024 movies.
All right, well, let me get
That came out in 2024.
Well, let me get my list up. Okay, I'm going to say number 5, Tetris.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Tetris, I really enjoyed that movie. It tried to be like The Social Network, and it was a little bit of a ripoff.
That's a 2023 movie, by the way.
I thought you said any movie of 20.
No, 2024 movies.
I know,
2024.
but I asked for the clarification. Does it have to be any movie, or does it have to be 2024?
We said
2024.
The new movies that came out this year that you watched this year.
Oh, bitch. Okay, well.
Well, just give us
know
whatever
what?
you got since
Yeah.
you're not prepared. We talked about this for like 10 minutes before the show started.
I didn't really watch a lot of 2024
Well,
movies.
just rank the ones you did watch.
All right, Tetris, number 5.
No, not
I'll allow it.
that came out in 2024.
He only has 3, Joseph.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, what's the next one?
Okay.
Number 4.
Next,
Number 4.
number 4, Killers of the Flower Moon.
That didn't come out this year.
All right.
I'm making.
We're going to let him do his own list because he only has 3 movies he watched this year. Okay.
Spaceman came out this year.
Yeah. Well, thank you for giving my number 3 spot.
Oh, look
Okay.
at that. It's a mitzvah.
Yeah. Spaceman was really good. I like the idea. I mean, everyone knows that I love a society ruled by spiders. Go back to our enemy episode where that is the twist of the movie, is that
Everyone's a spider.
everyone is a spider and Jake Gyllenhaal is just living in a society
We might be
of
spiders. They might be spiders.
They might be spider giants.
Number 2, I'm gonna go with.
It's weird that you have to think about it.
You know what? I'm gonna go with the American Society of Magical.
You can say.
Go ahead, say it.
You can say Negroes. It's okay. It's in the title.
Okay, all right. I wasn't sure. The American Society of Magical Negroes. I really love that movie.
I could say it.
Canceled.
Son of a bitch!
Canceled.
God damn it! I knew it.
It's in the song. I could say it if it's in the song.
That movie was insanely creative, and it was short, sweet, and I had a really great time watching it. And then that was number 2, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
number 2.
Number 2.
Number 1.
Ooh, number 1.
Come on, Tyler. You should have this prepped already.
I mean, well,
It's a tough one.
I gotta say, it's probably going to be Parachute. Yeah. And I know that seems like I'm just pulling it out of my ass, but no, Parachute is a really great movie. Oh, well, actually, you know what? No,
Tyler's-
Nosferatu would probably be the number one.
Yeah, well,
but
I think
that's
we-
not-
Of Tyler's movies of 2024, his 5 favorites are none from this year. Actually,
Yeah.
one, American Society for Magical Negroes.
Parachute?
Yeah, that was the movie that Angie made him watch. Okay, so no Nosferatu. All right, Joseph. What's
2023.
No, that
what's your
is-
top 5, Joseph?
No, that's not true. No.
Okay.
That's all right. You're done.
You're done.
You're done. You got your time.
All right.
All right. Well, this was kind of it's kind of a tough year, TBH. I haven't seen every single one. I haven't watched The Substance yet or other movies.
You haven't seen Substance still.
Um,
Boy, you're in for a treat.
God, I want to see.
doesn't
that
matter. I mean, doesn't really matter.
Both he is.
But so Civil War number 5.
Okay.
It's kind of this list has changed. It's been updated today. Civil War number 5. Anora number 4. Anora's very good. Number 4.
Okay.
Number 3, The Wild Robot.
Oh, okay.
The Wild Robot was fantastic.
Okay.
Animated movie, wonderful. Number 2, Nosferatu.
All right.
Number 2?
Nosferatus.
Yes, it doesn't matter what other movie came out, because Dune Part 2 came out this year.
it's the with the bullet.
Every other movie would have been below that. So Dune Part 2, number 1, best movie of the year in my opinion. But if it didn't come out this year, Nosferatu would be number 1. And it's still like obviously very, very recent. So it's like movie high and yeah. But yeah, number 1, Dune Part 2, and very, very, very close is Nosferatu, I think.
Nice. Two top ones. Denis Villeneuve and Robert Eggers at the top.
I know.
Who would have predicted?
I mean, Eggers and Villeneuve, they've had very few misses.
Yeah.
And I mean, Eggers has only 4 movies now.
He
and
doesn't have any miss.
all of them.
I think I like The Northman. I hate to say it, but maybe The Witch, number 4. Northman and The
Jeez.
Witch kind of jockeying back and forth.
I haven't watched The Northman in.
You're wearing a witch shirt.
Yeah, I know. It's great. It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
I rewatched it years later, and it was not quite as
Impactful.
not quite as impactful. But Nosferatu and Lighthouse are fucking great.
Yeah. I only watched Northman once in theaters, and I haven't watched it since.
I watched it on a plane to Portugal, and it was great with my mom.
Yeah.
As a rewatch, like third rewatch.
Yeah.
Cool, awesome. All right. I could not make it down to 5, so I'm going to go just a quick top 10. I'm just going to blast right through them.
Whoa. You gotta do 5.
Number 10.
You gotta do 5.
This is Spaceman.
You gotta do
Number
5.
10.
Number 9, Thelma. Number 8, It's What's Inside. Number 7, In a Violent Nature, because I couldn't leave that off the list, even though it's got beat out by much better things. Number 6, Rebel Ridge. Really, really good. Then Longlegs. Then Furiosa. And now we're in our actual... Actually, there's more than down here. Okay, anyways. I'll go to my top 5. Number 5.
How about do 5 in honorable mentions?
That's pretty much what they were.
Okay.
Number 5, Nosferatu. Fucking great. Love
Jesus, number 5.
it. Number 4, Civil War. I liked it a little bit better just because of the overall impact of it all. The filmmaking, I think, is better in Nosferatu, like as a production level. But Alex Garland knows how to tell a story. Maybe doesn't know how to end the story, because I think the clunky ending.
That ending.
It was my number 1 for a long time of the year, and it got pushed out by better story. But it just the feel of the movie was so impactful. Number 3, Challengers. Fantastic storytelling, great acting. Surprised me more than anything. I was not expecting to like it. That's a 5-star movie. Dune Part 2 is my number 2. Enough's been said about that. It's fantastic. Large scale filmmaking from Denny. And number 1, The Substance. Easy answer. Fucking loved it.
Yeah, you've been beating a drum for that movie.
Ryan gave his top 5 in the chat.
Yeah, what is that?
He actually gave it its bottom 5 too. Let's see here. I gotta go back here. Top 5: The Substance, Inside Out 2, Wicked, Deadpool and Wolverine, and The First Omen. Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine was on my honorable
I've heard
mentions.
that was really good.
It was on my honorable mentions, and The First Omen was really good too. And then he says his bottom 5. Where is it here?
You might have deleted it on accident.
Oh, maybe. Oh, worst movies of the 2024: Heretic, Joker 2, Folie à Deux, Dune 2, Even More Sand, The Strangers Chapter 1, and Time Cut.
Time Cut?
I never even heard of Time Cut.
Never heard of that one, but Dune 2, that's not... come on, that can't be in the bottom of a list.
Yeah, some people didn't like it. Some people didn't like the first one.
Yeah, a lot of people.
I didn't really like it.
Now, there you go.
It was all right. But that's not to say that it's not a great film. Like that, like I think that's going to be regarded as like one of the greatest cinematic achievements in our 21st century.
Yeah. We got a couple other ones from Dan Kowecki. Number 5, Civil War. Number 4, Speak No Evil, the remake, I assume. Number 3, Monkey Man. Number 2, Dune 2, and number 1, Challengers.
Yeah, Challenger's great.
Yeah, that's an honorable mention for sure. And then I feel like there was another one. Maybe there wasn't.
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, good list, Dan. Also, good list, Ryan, because no one's list is a bad list. It's a personal taste. We can't all have the same opinions, or else it would suck. Life would suck ass.
Look, guys, all movies are good. We just like them at different levels.
True. I mean, I don't even really like movies, so
That's a good point.
That is true. I forgot.
Yeah.
All right, now Tyler, I'm sure you have this list prepped and ready.
I do.
Now do your top 5 movies that we reviewed this year
this year. Okay.
that you liked.
Well,
Top 5 new
let
movies.
me,
New movies to you. Like top 5 new movies you discovered.
2
'cause
movies to me.
Because of the show
that you
that we
discovered
reviewed.
because of the show.
Okay. Well, let me go through my list right here.
When you say go through, do you have all the movies listed? Are you scrolling through a website?
I'm
I'm on IMDb.
Already
No,
have
I'm
them ready
not.
already.
Okay, so no. So the first one, Paris, Texas.
Okay.
Nice. That's number 5.
That's number 5.
Okay.
That was kind of a sleeper movie for me. I haven't heard about it, but after watching it, I noticed a bunch of like shots that I would see like on Tumblr and stuff, like in my younger years when I was on Tumblr, and I was like, "Oh, that's from that movie." And it's a thinker of a film. The main character is a piece of shit, and it was,
And he knows it.
and he knows it. Yeah, exactly. So, Paris, Texas. That was. I am so glad that I watched.
Don't
that
spend
movie.
too much time on these because we're already an hour in. And
Oh,
we
we are? Okay.
We gave full episodes on all of these.
All
so-
right, perfect. So I'm just gonna go to number 1, broadcast news. So glad that I
What
love
about
that
number
one.
4 and 3 and 2?
Well, I mean, Lars and the Real Girl. I mean, I've already seen that one. I really like that. I mean, I don't know. Like every movie that we review, I enjoy.
Great list. Great
that's
list.
not true.
So-
Great list.
that-
Yeah, that's not true at all.
That is absolutely true. But maybe it's because I have a bias because I like reviewing movies with you.
When did
guys.
I sent this message out yesterday, right?
Yeah.
I meant to send it out earlier, so I guess
That's fine. It's 24 hours to prep.
Well,
This is what you get. It's okay, Tyler. It's on brand. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
What about
well,
you?
yeah.
What about you, Joe?
forgot about Paris, Texas, but that's definitely one that I liked a lot, and I'm happy that I have watched it because of the show. Number 5, Tiptoes. I'm just kidding.
Please, God. That fucking
So glad we
movie.
watched that though.
My life post Tiptoes is
I
so
know.
much better. Number 5, Lahane. Thank
Ooh.
you to me for bringing
Oh,
that
Love Lies and Bleeding. That was going to be my other one.
to that movie. Lahane, a French classic movie. City of God, another gritty, hectic Brazilian movie. Enjoyed that a lot. A very long engagement going back to France.
Oh wow, good pick.
Yeah.
that was from Binge Lord Dan.
Yeah. Thank you, Binge Lord Dan. Good Will Hunting. I like that quite a bit. Never watched it.
I can't believe you never seen
Never
it before
watched
now.
it until the show. Actually, I accidentally started number 6.
It's Matt Damon's vanity project.
Yeah, it is, but it's still really, really
Yeah,
good.
it works.
It's still good.
Sometimes that works.
It's still good.
Number 2, Frankenhooker.
Yeah, that almost made my list.
Nice.
I really, really enjoyed
So fun.
Frankenhooker more than I thought I was going to, based off the title Frankenhooker.
Shout out to Andrew Martin.
More
He's a
than
huge fan of
Veronica?
that show or the
Yes,
movie.
more than Veronica.
Okay, now there is bad movies and it's called Veronica.
And then number 1, I guess I could have moved Frankenhooker number 1, I think, but Stalker was also I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
At least watching it. The movie itself, I think was really good. It's very hard to get through, but
Yeah.
was still glad that I have watched it.
Nice.
Yeah.
My top 5, Howard the Duck, 1986. Loved it way more than I thought. Way more than I thought I was going to love it. It's so stupid. Number 4, Notting Hill. Again, a
I
surprise movie.
almost picked Notting Hill.
A classic rom-com
Yeah.
that just hit me just right.
Fucking hey, it was a good one.
Number 3, Grizzly Man with my man Werner. Sent me down a Werner Herzog trail, and that was from Big Red Dal, listener Dallas.
The man thought he could be friends with the bears.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe Bridge.
Okay.
Joe Bridge, you're in the chat. Rank that impression, please.
Yes, please.
God damn it. No.
Number 2, Paris, Texas from Wim Wenders. My first Wim Wenders movie.
In my last.
I don't know if I'm going to go down that road, but it was so good. I mean, I don't know why I wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then number 1, Broadcast News.
Number 1.
Number 1. Hit me and Tyler really right, and not Joseph. At
Fucking
all.
hey, I love that movie.
And then honorable mention for a movie that I rediscovered. I brought it to the show, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Fucking VHS classic of all time. Probably the most highly produced VHS movie ever made. And it brought back all these movies, feelings from childhood and all these memories. And it's such an entertaining and stupid movie.
It certainly is stupid.
Yeah, so that's an honorable mention for me. What a great year we had.
Stupid.
Yes.
A lot of good, and that's not even including streaming picks. Like I found some good
Now, top 5 streaming.
please no.
Tyler would have none.
I'm not ready for
I
that.
don't watch movies. I don't.
That is true. Once again.
Yes, I do.
All right. Yeah, because you have to.
We have 52 movies, 52 episodes a week, or 52 like weeks,
A week?
weeks a year.
52 episodes
So
a year.
52 review movies a year,
Yeah.
which means Tyler watches about 60 movies a year.
So we have 100. That's not true. 104 episodes total.
24 episodes, yeah, plus any bonuses that we have and stuff.
But we did skip some
Yeah, a couple.
because I don't have a perfect 52 logged movies here.
No.
And for
I need to have
Reviews.
like a.
Oh, you have a list for that?
yeah,
Oh, nice.
MCFC
Films we've
review
reviewed.
movies of
That's cool.
2024.
I should do that.
And now we're done with that. Let's get into some streaming picks.
Oops, wrong one.
Wrong. The
One
wheel.
wheel. Oh, finally.
Yes, it is.
Disney Plus. Oh, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime. I like Netflix.
Streaming picks, movies that we watched that we will recommend or not recommend for you to watch or not watch as well.
Yeah.
Pete.
Okay, so since last week, I've only watched a few movies. I watched Nosferatu. We talked about that.
Yeah.
I'm going down a young adult action rabbit hole with Brianna, and we're watching all the Hunger Games movies.
Oh.
She watched them earlier in the year and just fell in love with them for some reason. She was like, I think I've seen 1 or 2, but for whatever reason, I rewatched them, and she was like just doting over them, completely gushing. So she wants me to watch them with her, and we watched the first one a while ago. We watched Catching Fire, which is part 2 of the movie, of the series. And this is from 2013. This is starring all the usual suspects that you would expect from this. Jennifer Lawrence, Josh Hutcherson, Liam Hemsworth, Woody Harrelson, Elizabeth Banks, Donald Sutherland, Lenny Kravitz. This one has Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Lenny Kravitz.
This one has Philip Seymour Hoffman, Jeffrey Wright, Stanley Tucci, Toby Jones, just Jenna Malone, all kinds of people in this. Jack Quaid.
God damn.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, what do you guys know about the Hunger Games?
Isn't it
the
just
book
a
series,
ripoff of a battle royale?
Kinda.
I mean, it's a dystopian future where they compete in there's factions and neighborhood districts.
Yeah.
I've only seen the first movie.
Okay, cool. So the concept is that it's a dystopian future, and the government decides to make these games to essentially quell uprisings from the poor districts to the rich districts. And the districts are 1 through 13. The lower the number, the more rich you are. District 12 and 13 are super poor. District 13 got wiped out years ago in the past. And every year they choose one child from each district.
A child.
One male, one female. 18 or under.
And they fuck.
No, they fight.
Oh, they fight.
They fight, yeah. They put, let's say there's 12 districts, that's 24 kids, and they put them on basically like a simulated outdoor dome sort of thing, like a hollow sphere sort of thing.
Okay.
And they go in and they all have different skills. Like Katniss is the main character. It's Jennifer Lawrence's character, and
Her name is Katniss?
Katniss. Yeah.
Katniss, okay.
Oh, they all have dumb names too. I'll give
PETA.
Here's their names: Katniss Everdeen, PETA Malark,
PETA?
Gale Hawthorne,
PETA.
Haymitch Abernathy,
I like Gale.
Effie Trinket,
Effie.
Trinket.
President Coriolanus Snow, Cinna, Plutarch Heavensby, BT,
How are you supposed to remember
Caesar
these
Flickerman,
names?
Claudius Templesmith. So the names show you that it's YA, it's young adult fiction, right?
Okay.
It's like a name generator.
Yeah, it's like that Japanese baseball game that used American names. That
It's
are
like, or that Key and Peele football.
Yeah, exactly. So, but anyways, she's a archer, and in the first movie, her and PETA he's the other guy from her district. They go, and instead of, and you got to kill everybody. It's like they go out there and it's fight to the death.
Even the same person from your faction?
Mm-hmm. Is the last person standing. Because normally it's like someone else from a different district is going to kill your partner or whatever, and you may not even know that person. You probably do.
What's stopping from an uprising is my question.
That's the story. That's the plot. So in the first one, they both make it out. She's basically like them two at the end, and they go, I'm not gonna kill him. He's not gonna kill me. We're in love, even though it's just all for show. And it's like a reality show too, because there's cameras watching all these characters, and as they're prepping for the Hunger Games, they get to know the characters, and people are betting on the characters. And then if they like you, they can send you in-game assistance. Like it could send you like flint, so you can start a fire, and a little like drone comes in and drops off food for you or another weapon or something.
Okay, all right.
It's pretty interesting, and all said and done. And the quality of the movies themselves are good.
Yeah, they look good.
They're good. So it's high quality, kind of like light fare entertainment with a little bit more interesting story than just like Maze Runner. I watched one of those. And it's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Or the Divergent series?
Yeah, who cares? These are pretty good though. And so for the second one, now it's PETA and Katniss, and they're like celebrities. PETA and Katniss, they're celebrities. And they're like, okay, well, how does the story go from here? Like the winners, they can't go in again. So, they're going to pick for the next year, they're going to pick new people. And then Katniss is just a side character or something now. Mm-hmm. So in this one, the government comes up with some bullshit like 1900s law they used to have back in the day called the quartering or something like that. And they're like, oh, we're doing an all-star game this time. All the winners that are still alive from the old years, the years we've been doing the Hunger Games.
All-star game.
They're all going in, and it's going to be Hunger Games all-stars.
Yeah.
And now one winner again. So all the winners that have been celebrities for these last 10, 15, 20 years, some of them, because in the first one, it's all kids fighting.
Yeah.
18 and under. In this one, it's like Jeffrey Wright's in it. A bunch of like older people who won 20 years ago, and they've just been celebrities since then, like living the fat life because they are now in the capital district or whatever. So now you have all these kids and adults, and they're all fighting each other.
Okay.
And it really, more than that.
How many movies are in the
5 or 6?
There's
I think
5 or 6.
One just came out recently,
it's
last year.
Prequel.
Yeah.
Song of Songbirds and Snakes or something like that.
Songbirds and Snakes.
So, anyways, this is more about the uprising and the start of the uprising. So it's like she becomes a folk hero accidentally, and she
like
has
Joan of Arc.
Kind of
more like Martin Luther King.
Jennifer Lawrence is the Martin Luther King of our generation. It's been said many times.
Katniss Everdeen is a metaphor for the Selma Bridge.
Yeah. So the thing I liked about this movie is that I didn't know where the story was going, and I didn't know the kind of machinations of like the behind the scenes, and you get to see more of that.
Okay.
So I'm curious to see where the movie's going to go from here, because this was really good.
Was this just the first one?
This is number 2.
Oh,
so
okay.
this is streaming on AMC Plus. We have the digital download of all these, so Brianna just put it on from her library. But I'll probably be watching the next one next week, number 3. We'll report back on that. But that was really good. I recommend the series so far. I watched The Holdovers on Christmas Day.
Nice.
Rewatch. Great movie from last year, 2023. Pretty universally loved, except for Matt Stillman doesn't like it. And I respect Matt's taste. So he gave him Paul Blart 3 stars. I gotta go with Paul, Matt on that one. But The Holdovers is, I think, just a good curmudgeon to happy feel movie for the Christmas season. The main actor boy, I can't remember his name. Let's see what his name is.
Dominic or something.
Dominic Sessa.
Yeah,
he plays Angus, and him and Paul Giamatti are like the leads of the show, and then of course Divine Joy. But Dominic Sessa, this is only his second movie, and it's just amazing how good he is.
Couldn't tell.
I know, you really can't. So great vibe movie, great period piece in like the 70s. I think it's 1970. A lot of details from the movie that I didn't catch on the first watch that was just great. A really great Christmas Day watch. So that is streaming on, let's see where that is streaming. Prime Video.
Oh.
Amazon Prime. And then lastly, I watched Heretic, A24 horror movie starring Chloe West.
Hugh Grant.
Chloe East. My bad.
Weast?
Weast.
I thought you meant East.
Hugh Grant, Sophie Thatcher, and Chloe East, with a small part by Topher Grace.
Oh.
Did not realize it was him until Brianna mentioned it, and I'm like,
That's Topher Grace.
That's not him. And then we looked it up, and sure shit, it's him. So he looks different now. This is basically a story of 2 young LDS missionaries, girls who go to a house to proselytize to Hugh Grant's character, and he comes in and essentially starts questioning them about their religion and about religion in general, and with the one true faith, and and it's a game of cat and mouse. It's a, what's his twist? Why is he doing this? Is he dangerous, or is he just fucking with them?
Yeah.
And he's kind of like a weird inventor sort of thing. Like he's got all these contraptions and stuff, which I didn't expect. And in the poster, you can see it's like his face in the like dark background. He's like reaching for 2 little figures, like little wooden figures. That plays into the movie. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's like a game for him.
Okay.
And it was really interesting.
He's like Jigsaw.
Kind of, yeah. And but
Jigsaw with religious people.
except British, yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the turn of having a rom-com like lead turning into a creepy villain, because he was great in this. He was great in Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, and
because in reality, that's what those rom-com guys actually are.
They just fucking creeps.
Off camera. when the movie ends, that's what they turn into.
Yeah,
they turn into monsters.
So it was good. I like this too because it's not. I didn't know where it's going the whole time. If you watch enough movies, you kind of get the here it goes here, and I can see maybe this twist or that twist, and you get to the end, and you kind of expect this and that. I really had no idea at all which direction it was going, and it ended up being a little more simpler than I was expecting. Me and Brianna both guessed what our guesses were. We were both wrong.
She's usually
right on it.
Very accurate in the beginning.
And there's some very gross out sort of shit in this too.
Ooh,
yeah, some
really
nasty gross out
Hugh
shit.
Grant?
Like gore?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's not like super bad, but there's some bleak shit there.
All right.
And there's some like, I don't want to say bloody because it's more like sludge. You know how when blood sometimes looks black in certain
it's
movies?
just like
it's like very like viscous and black and sludgy looking. It was a lot of that, and there's a blueberry pie theme to the whole thing.
Okay.
So yeah, it's I think it's worth a watch. Ryan hated it. He mentioned earlier that was his one of his least favorites.
I heard it was kind of like not quite polarizing, but it was like a lot of people hated it and a lot of people like really liked it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's because of the religious element and like poking holes in religion, if that like gets under certain people's skin. I'm sure it does, but
yeah,
there's an analogy that he does in regards to board games and religion. And it's a really interesting analogy. I don't think it 100% holds water, but it is interesting to think about because I'll just say the core thesis of his whole shtick is that, all religions are based off of the same thing. It's like, or many religions are based off of the same thing. A Messiah who died and came to life 3 days later, born from a virgin mother. They are the savior, and the only way to heaven is through him. And it's that there's like 10 or 15 different religions that kind of have all those same things, including Christianity, Judaism, and Islam.
Yeah.
And he equates it to versions of Monopoly, which is really interesting. So I think it's if nothing else, it's an interesting
So it's
watch.
Hugh Grant playing an edgelord trying to get in the pants of 2 Mormon girls.
Not true. So it's like I said, it's at the very least, it's interesting.
I heard there was a Jar Jar impression.
There is a Jar Jar Binks.
Wait, there
impression.
is?
Hugh Grant does a Jar Jar Binks.
There is. Oh my god, that's awesome.
And he fails. I think on purpose. They probably had him do the a real version of it, and it sounded super cringe. There's mentions of Taco Bell and how bad it is in this. There's mentions of Jar Jar Binks impressions.
Okay.
There's scenes in it that remind you of The Road at times.
Weird.
Yeah, so you have to rent this one still. It's out for, it's like a $20 rental. Brianna really wanted to watch it, so we rented it. And the two of us sat and had a night of it. And it was really good. So if you don't want to spend $20 on it, I get it. But when it hits streaming, I'll mention it to the class. And that's my recommendations for the week.
Cool. Tyler, what did you watch this holiday week?
Yeah, I watched Die Hard.
Cool.
Okay.
For the first time.
Wow.
So here's the interesting part.
For the first time?
Yeah, for the first time.
Dude, what the fuck?
I know. For the first, I was
wait. Not a bit. You actually watched it for the very first time.
Correct.
You've never seen Die Hard before. Didn't we have a whole?
We watched Die Hard 3.
Yeah.
No, I know that.
I did not watch Die Hard 1.
Somehow.
Never in your life you've seen Die Hard 1.
So here's the interesting part is I thought I had watched Die Hard, the first movie.
I do that sometimes. You've seen enough of it in the zeitgeist, and you just assume.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, it's Die Hard. And then I sat down and watched it, and it is a great movie. It's a really good movie. I really loved it.
Good.
Alan Rickman is
He's so good as Hans Gruber.
and that was his first role on film.
Really?
Yeah, he was primarily a theater actor before he got onto. I mean, this is what I just read. Maybe I'm incorrect.
That's okay. I'll check. Keep going.
But Alan Rickman was really great in this movie, playing Hans McGruber.
Hans McGruber. McGruber.
Yeah, that's what I kept thinking throughout the whole movie. I was like,
it's just Gruber.
Oh, it's
Just Gruber. There's no Mick.
There's no Mac.
He's German.
British. Yeah, he's German. You're right. He's German, not Scottish
Or Austrian.
What I really liked about this movie, though, yeah, there's a lot of like schlocky action going on, but the motive of Hans Gruber is so interesting because he
wants money.
He's not a terrorist. He just wants money. And a lot of people...
It's so interesting. His motivations is that he wants to get rich.
The reason why it's interesting is because a lot of people are mischaracterizing him as being like an eco-terrorist. And he's like, no, I'm not a terrorist. No, I just want the money. Like, I just figure out a way to... And his whole plan falls apart instantly.
Am I breaking the law? Maybe. But does that make me a terrorist? No.
I like how...
Terrorists have a theology behind it, I think.
No,
they're trying to change something about the culture. Not
there's
just get money.
Yeah, there's like a motive.
How about we ask the terrorized and see if they classify them if they're terrorists?
You were manslaughtered, not murdered. Okay, get it right.
So I watched Die Hard, and that's streaming on Amazon Prime. That was I'm glad
you liked it.
That was so fun.
So question, I know this has been done to the death.
Yeah,
Christmas movie.
Did we have a whole? We did a video.
We did, but
I don't. So you were lying about it.
Tyler thought he watched the movie.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I thought I had watched the movie, but then as I started watching the movie, I was like, I've never seen this movie before.
So is it?
You were
what is this?
I wouldn't say it's a Christmas movie. I think it's like a good wintertime movie.
Why don't you stop talking for a while?
Okay, fine. Then I'll stop. Yeah. So
Alan Rickman. TV series, TV movie, uncredited role in a British movie, TV series, Hans Gruber.
So he was in one TV movie.
Okay.
and uncredited.
All right. Well, first
like a-
Hollywood movie.
Yeah,
then,
I agree.
guess.
I think this is. You could call this his first Hollywood movie.
Major debut.
Yeah. What a triumph.
I have an anti-streaming pick. The Polar Express.
Oh fuck.
Okay.
I
Never
Makes
seen
sense.
It. Never seen it. Don't want to.
I
don't blame you.
So I watched this movie with an open mind. I was thinking, okay, well, this was highly regarded in when it come out, 2003, I think. The animation looks really good for the time it came out. However,
For the time it came out.
Uncle Tripp's in the chat. He just says no.
No, what Trip?
yeah, I don't get.
Oh, maybe he does. Maybe he likes the Polar Express.
Okay, well, the Polar Express, I implore everyone to not watch that movie. And it's not even a bad, funny movie either. It's just a really bad movie. I really wish they would lean on the idea of that train being a train going into the afterlife for all those dead children.
It's like going into Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, like I really wish they would have leaned more on the horrific aspect of Tom Hanks' character picking up children along the side of train tracks, and just also in the movie, if you don't have a ticket punched by Tom Hanks' character, you're thrown out of the train, like
Good.
to the side of the tracks to freeze to death.
Yeah.
And then there's hobos living up on the top of the
That just
on
evaporate.
The train.
This is actually in the movie, or
Yeah, it is.
Yes,
Wow.
it is. And it's it was not a fun movie to watch. It was a slog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually, I think, I only seen it once, but there's a kid near the end of the movie who, like, he doesn't get any presents.
Yes.
And because he's
Yeah.
poor or something.
Yeah, because he's a poor kid who doesn't get presents.
Yeah.
So you're saying
And-
don't watch this movie? It's bad.
Yeah, that's why I said anti-streaming. Pick.
Yeah, it's not good.
And then I watched Downsizing with Matt Damon and who the fuck is
Hung Chow.
Yeah, that movie was
Kristen Wiig, right? No.
Yeah,
she's in
I
it.
think she's in it.
Yeah, she's in it.
Yeah,
She plays his wife.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot Kristen Wiig was in it because I hated that wife for what she did to Matt Damon.
Yes.
I was like, how dare you do that?
It was awful.
So
Especially
I mean,
what you have to go through to become small.
Yeah, exactly. It's this whole medical procedure, and then I think that I did like this movie. I thought it was entertaining. Strangely, Matt Damon was very restrained in his role because usually when you see a Matt Damon movie, he's a little bit, I wouldn't say bombastic is the correct word, but like he's very much in front of the camera. With this movie, it was more about the story. And it's such a weird story.
Yeah,
it's an
interesting idea. It feels like an M. Night Shyamalan concept.
That's what I was thinking too.
Where
yeah,
it's like, what if we're smaller, we can use less resources.
and I mean it makes it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
But then a mouse is like a predator, apex predator at that point.
Well, I mean, it goes back to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Like it's the
the
same
ant-
concept.
the ant is terrifying.
Like the spiders and stuff. I mean, like that's a tale.
Look how
as
big
old,
the cookies are.
I mean, that's a tale as old as time in
One
like
gold
cinema.
coin can last you the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, the currency goes up. You become a billionaire.
Yeah.
If you have if you average like $35,000 a year, normal sized, like just non shrunken down,
Yeah.
it becomes like you're a millionaire when you do get shrunk down.
I thought the love story between Matt Damon and the other actress was it was a little weird, disjointed. Like it
That was
felt-
Hong Chow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I think their relationship in the beginning like felt very natural because she was, I don't even know why there was like a social hierarchy when they were all small, like, but I guess that tracks with how human behavior is. I think that when it got romantic, it didn't make sense to me, but like the relationship that they had in the beginning of him being a chiropractor, and she's like, "Oh, I'm not going to do the accent, but oh, you're a doctor."
Go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna do it. I almost did. I caught myself.
Oh,
Only because the mics are on.
it's your natural instinct is to go right into the.
My natural instinct was about to go racist. And so like it was funny that because she knew him as a chiropractor, that he was a medical doctor. And then it was a fun movie. I think it went a little bit too long. But it's a fun, it's like one of those fun, like thought concept things where you're like, oh, well, what if everyone was small? And what if we made a society of it?
I remember it feeling like a little long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The story takes a big turn, and then a whole movie happens.
What I mean, obviously, like the turn happens, when he gets shrunk down, and spoiler alert, his wife decides not to go through with it.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up and he's like, what the fuck? I just did this for you. And then now
and you can't reverse it either.
He gets divorced, and he was going to be like, they were going to be living lavishly. And now he's living the same exact life as he was, normal sized, but small sized. Yeah.
But now he's tiny. He could literally like I could just like pick him up and like just eat him.
Yeah, exactly. And then the end of the movie, it turns into like a apocalyptic,
like a doomsday
thing, and they go in the mountain, and then like the whole like again, spoilers, like
doesn't matter,
the mass suicide essentially.
Yeah,
it's so comical because they're so small, it just goes
yep.
Just like a little.
I mean, like the logic is there though. Everyone shrinks down, you use less resources, and so
how about we just make our resources bigger?
Yeah,
and we stay this giant tomatoes.
But it's like one of those like fun like thought game sort of movies. It did go on a little bit too long, but I was glad that Matt Damon wasn't like trying to be like the center of attention like he always is in every single movie he's in. Like even in Interstellar, when you think about Interstellar, Matt
Damon instantly, it's the first thought that comes to my mind.
When he comes up on screen, like he's just like, I'm Matt Damon.
Right.
And it's just like, it's like, God damn it. All right, we get it. You're Matt Damon.
You're a white guy, okay?
Matt Damon.
He's a little bit better than Paul.
I hate the movie when he's the main
Wahlberg.
character and he takes up all the attention.
And he's like, look at me, I'm the star of the movie.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be the star of most of the movies that he's in, except for the Bourne series.
That and We Bought a Zoo.
And The Martian.
But strangely, like even in the Bourne series, he's restrained. But then in The Martian, he's Matt Damon. Like, I don't know. He's a weird...
This makes total sense.
Anyways, I feel like I had something else, but I'll save it for next week.
Whoa, okay. Trip Affleck.
Hey, Trip just gave us a donation. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
We appreciate
that. Gary Crimble, fellas. Buy yourself some Kingsford.
Got it.
Kingsford the charcoal? I think so.
I don't know what that means. Anyways, that's...
Thank you, buddy.
All I have for streaming picks this week.
Hey, before you go, Joseph goes, I want to read some of these things off in the chat because we got a lot of action in here.
Oh, we do.
Eric from Cinematics says, y'all need to get some Hippo and Let's Start a Cult in your lives. I really want to watch Let's Start a Cult. I've heard it's really funny.
Oh, I thought he was telling us to start an actual cult.
It's a movie.
Oh.
Joseph Bridges lamented the segment, Tyler watches some movies, but it's the wrong movie. And your top 24 that aren't 24 movies. Eric's top 10 says Hippo, Place of Bones, Rebel Ridge, One More Shot, She Is Conan, Lake George, Let's Start a Cult, Arctic Convoy, Frankie Frico, and Last Stop in Yuba County. That was a really good one too. I like that one. I made my honorable mentions.
Okay.
Yuba County. Let's see whatever here. Heather says the only bad movie is one that's not entertaining. Quality has nothing to do with it. Dan says I agree, except for Borderlands.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Joe Bridges ranked your impression. He gave you a 3 out of 10.
Yes, there you go.
On your Herzog. Since it was short. That was a brief impression.
Let's see. Quarterquell. So the Hunger Games. Joe Bridges says the Hunger Games were shot about 15 minutes from where he grew up in Georgia. That's interesting. Eric's on his way to go watch Orlok, the mustachioed vampire now.
Please do.
And then Bruce gives his rankings. Him and his family went and watched it just now. He says, Andrew, his son, gave it 1.5 stars. Daniel gave it 3 stars.
What?
And Bruce gave it 3.5 stars.
Uh,
I could get it. I understand.
Andrew
it's definitely a movie that is not for a lot of people.
Yes, yes.
It's
I
not
wonder,
for.
I wonder what the budget was for that too.
It's not. It's an art house director who's made it into the mainstream.
Yeah, I mean, everyone was surprised about his Northman.
50 million.
50 million?
50 million.
He made that movie for 50 million? That's insane.
Yeah, that's good. It's really good.
That's
I can
insane.
see it. Small set pieces to make it look like big set pieces.
I mean, it was like kind of confined most of the time to like
most
her
part.
bedroom, his castle interior,
Yeah.
and then some city streets.
and those were all built sets too.
Yeah.
Honestly, there were moments where I was like, "This is what Tim Burton wishes he could do."
Yeah. Dude, yes. Take the whimsy out of it, and that's what Tim Burton wants to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got the closest he got in terms of like production. I would say it was like Sweeney Todd,
Yeah.
or maybe Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, I would say Sweeney Todd.
So sorry to derail you, Joseph. I know you got your
No,
stream
it's okay.
pick stuff.
I don't have a whole lot.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't make sense now since we're past the Christmas holiday now, but I didn't watch a whole lot of movies because of the holiday. So I really only have 2.
That's fair. That's okay.
But
we're already almost hour and a half.
On Christmas Eve at my parents' house, we watched It's a Wonderful Life.
Is it good? I haven't seen it.
Really? You haven't seen it?
No. It's one of those.
It's revered as a good movie. Like a Christmas classic.
Yeah.
One of the best Christmas movies, and just kind of like overall story is kind of goes beyond just Christmas, I think.
Yeah.
And I think the story is engaging, but I just can't stand Jimmy Stewart. I just don't
I
like.
thought this was a streaming pick.
You had an anti-streaming pick.
That's true.
I just don't like Jimmy Stewart. I just don't. I feel like he's just so much.
Now, what if I get you the moon, huh? I put a lasso on it, pull it right to you.
When he's running around and he's like, "Where's the money, you silly, stupid old fool?" It's just.
That's pretty good.
It's very grating.
Where's the money?
But that's just me. I just can't take him seriously.
I get it.
But like the story and everything, what I did notice on this time watching it, because I don't watch this movie. I actively avoid it. But it was the one my mom wanted to watch, so we watched it.
Come on, Joseph, let's watch A Wonderful Life.
Was my mom a grandma? I guess she is a grandma, actually. She's not 80 years old, though. The cinematography in this movie is really, really good. It's there's a lot of shots with him and his future wife, I think. They're like walking together, and it's a set, obviously, and you can see the moon in the background and everything. But it's lit so well, and the shadows are so well placed. And there's like throughout the movie, there's a lot of really great like silhouette type shots. It's really good from a visual standpoint, but I just
Can't connect.
I can't get past Jimmy Stewart.
I think it's funny when they make him like a college kid, but he's 45.
Yeah,
they just put a striped sweater on him with the letter of his college.
Yeah.
I'm off to college.
I don't know where that's streaming.
That's such a...
Here I go. I'm going off to college, Mary.
Joe Bridges says he's watched It's a Wonderful Life every Christmas Eve every year since 1989. Damn.
Since 89?
Jimmy Stewart. It's a Wonderful Life streaming on Prime.
All right.
If you want to watch that. And then I watched Elf, a modern Christmas classic, I think. I used to I went through a phase where I didn't watch it, or I didn't like it as much. But Indiana doesn't think it's that great. It's like not one of her favorites. Neither is It's Wonderful Life. She also hates that movie. But like watching Elf this time, it's like genuinely really funny.
What compelled you to watch it?
It is. It's Christmas.
The holiday season. I give most Christmas movies a pass because I want to be festive.
Yeah.
But like Elf is like a genuinely like funny movie. And I like it a lot. And I find myself quoting it obviously more around Christmas. And I'm like, and watching it again, it actually got good laughs out of me. The only thing I don't like is the end.
The singing
What's
part?
the end?
Like when I guess as soon as like Santa comes to town.
Oh,
that's
Ed Asner.
Yeah, that's when
Oh, Ed Asner's Santa.
Yeah.
that's when it kind of falls off for me. I could probably like turn it off at that point because I don't really care about the ending that
Yeah,
much. I care about that good 2/3 of it.
Yeah.
But in the end, I could take it or leave it. But yeah, it makes sense that it's a.
I legitimately think it's a Christmas classic.
Yeah.
When they were making the movie, it feels like they're using forced perspective. They're using claymation.
Yeah.
There's
mixed media.
yeah. It's very unique characters. It's a fun premise. I mean, the Christmas classics from like the 50s, the Rankin Bass shit was like a reindeer with a fucking red nose. That's the whole story.
Yeah.
And this one, it's same high concept. It's a guy who was picked up at an orphanage on accident, climbed in Santa's bag, and was raised by elves. And
Technically, I'm human, but I'm raised by elves.
yeah, just like Aragorn.
Yeah, I think that, like the
Just like
the charm of that of that movie is him like essentially being a child, and like when he's at the doctor's office and all that. I'm like all that's like really good, and like him going injecting himself into their home life, living with them, eating spaghetti for breakfast with syrup and marshmallows and Pop-Tarts and stuff. All that is like really.
I mean, that's what
really
I eat
good
almost every morning.
The fact that he can etch a sketch super fast is fun.
Yeah, collect snowballs at insane speed, decorate an entire department store. In one night.
And Peter Billingsley is one of the elf, which is great.
Yeah.
Ralphie from Christmas Story.
I think what I really like about like the high concept sort of Christmas stories like from like the 50s and Elf now is that it's really terrifying. It's a really horrific sort of idea of this child being raised. Like, not only does Santa not give a damn that a human child is being raised by these elves. He's indifferent to it. He doesn't care. Santa.
Oh, because he's a demigod.
But, well, yeah, because he knows when you're sleeping and he knows when you're awake, and so you think he already knew there was a child. He was thinking to himself.
He was drunk off milk and cookies.
Yeah, probably as well.
So Santa, is he omnipotent or omniscient?
He's omnipotent. Never mind.
Yeah, move on.
Santa is basically the devil.
My favorite thing about this movie is maybe not my favorite thing, but it's in the pantheon of greatest movie costume outerwears of all time because the green long jacket that Will Ferrell wears at the end when he's running around with Jovi. What a great coat that is.
Oh yeah.
That coat, the cable knit sweater from End of There Will Be Blood, and Kyle Gallner's green cardigan from the Passenger are those three. If I could ever get my hands on any movie prop outerwear, it'd be those three.
Yeah.
What's great about the making of Elf 2 is when he's in the city, they're just following Will Ferrell around in the city. Yeah. Like it's not like extras. He's interacting with real people.
He's in the city.
He almost gets punched a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
So
my favorite part of that movie is Zooey Deschanel. I mean,
Of course. Yes, of course.
Zooey. Why don't you just pronounce her name right, huh?
That's her name.
That's how Tyler respects the women that he loves by misnaming them.
I don't hug them.
He dead names them. Yeah, I don't hug them.
I don't pronounce her name right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot to work on.
Well, cool, good. 2 Christmas movies.
Yes, and then Nosferatu.
Yeah,
we were talking about that.
I think we can all agree. You know what? I don't understand. I'm just so disappointed that the Perky family wasn't hot on it.
The Perky. Oh,
They can have their own opinions.
they are children.
Yeah, there's 2 of them are children.
Well,
And Bruce gave it 3.5 stars.
I expected more from Andrew.
Oh, okay. You hear that, Andrew?
You listen to the show,
Yeah,
don't you?
He was on the show one time.
He
that's right.
was.
Yeah.
He was. The greatest guest spot we ever had.
Anything else?
No, that is it.
Oh, I wanted to mention really quick, though,
Hold on.
before I know it.
We have a whole nother episode to do after this.
Wrap up your thought.
Okay, so Jack Fitzpatrick, he does a YouTube series on Dexter shows and whatnot,
Yeah.
and he did Original Sin. I watched the first episode, Jack. No.
You don't
It's
like
not-
it? You didn't like it?
Did he like it?
He was keen on it.
Oh, okay.
So was
And-
Brianna.
I'm not.
Brianna liked it too.
I just wanted to mention Jack. I'm sorry. I love you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, go watch Let's Crash This Parade YouTube channel.
Yes. Great stuff. But no, Original Sin.
Ain't it? All right. Well, thank you to our cool ass yard dudes over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, Michael, Steven, and Chris. And thank you to everybody in the chat who made this a great end of the year episode. We have, I think, one of our biggest chat experiences. Everyone's sharing their top fives and bottom fives.
Yeah.
Disparaging me.
Yeah. Trip donated to us so we can get some coal for our stockings.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. But if you don't want to support us on the Patreon, you can do what the listeners in the chat are doing and the viewers. Just go to the YouTube channel and watch us there. That is a way you can support the show without having to spend $1 of your own money. Until next time. Thank you for joining us as we gab and chatter, talk about our top fives and Nosferatu. Follow us later on in the week or later today if you're on the live stream as we review, what was it?
The Hunt.
The Hunt from 2012 with Mads Mikkelsen. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class and leave us a voicemail. We've been a little dry on the voicemails. That number is 209-283-1716.
And follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC and on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
See ya.
Oh, son of a bitch.
That's my wife. Oh.
Fucking liberals.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call.
Bueller.
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You're mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kim left to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates, and welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class Movie Review Edition. I'm your host for today, Joseph.
I'm Peter.
I'm Tyler.
And this week, the Wheel of Destiny landed on my pick, The Hunt.
Rated R.
What a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Could tell.
Our audio listeners are loving this right now.
We should have a
Translator?
maybe
Danish translator?
A random.
You know, we should have a yearly middle class.
Oh, you're the
film
Rizzler.
class.
I just realized that Tyler's the Rizzler.
the Rizzler still.
Wait, who?
Whoopsie. Which one is it?
The Rizzler.
Is
It's
it
that Marn.
this one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
That's because last week you weren't here.
Yeah. Any Danes on? Any Danes on the on the chat? Anyone have a Great Dane?
Rip Nova.
Yeah. God damn it. Yeah.
Jeg tror på børnene, Lukas. Det har jeg altid gjort.
Yeah, this was definitely filmed over the pond.
Over the pond.
I think it was filmed in Atlanta, Georgia, 15 minutes away from Joseph Bridges' house.
Hvorfor lå du min far? Hvad er det, du forestiller dig er sket? Det er dem, der er blevet syge i hovedet. Vil du sige noget til mig? Hele byen står og hører på dig, mand.
Love that part.
The Hunt. The Hunt. Let's get out of that. The Hunt. Very different from the other The Hunt we reviewed.
Very different.
Totally different tone.
Just 8 years later.
Different country, different language, different actors, different director, different editor. Okay.
Different.
The whole thing is different.
Story almost the same though.
Yeah. Surprisingly. So this is The Hunt. I replaced The Hunt with The Hunt. This came out in 2012, directed by Thomas Vinterberg, who I believe also directed Another Round from 2020.
Thomas Vinterberg. He directed The Hunt that came out in 2012.
All right, no more of
that. You're done.
I like how every foreign language is just the same accent for Tyler.
Yeah.
Danish sounds like Austrian, sounds like German.
And this is starring one Mads Mikkelsen, Thomas Bo Larsen, Annika Wetterkop as Clara, and a bunch of other Dane actors.
Yeah, we only care about Mads.
Mads and Thomas Bo Larsen, who I feel like I've definitely seen him in other
yeah, he
stuff.
looked familiar.
He's in Another Round as well.
Yeah.
But
that's right, he is.
But this is about Mads Mikkelsen, who plays Lucas, who works at a school, like an elementary school,
like a preschool kindergarten.
And he has just gone through a divorce, and he's just kind of living a sort of solitude type of life, while struggling with his son's custody, and he is slowly, his life is kind of seems like it's going on an upswing when he gets in a relationship with one of his coworkers.
Yeah.
And receives good news that his son is going to be actually coming and living with him because he's not having a good time living with his mom. But then the wrench gets thrown into, as it does.
Life happens,
And you're...
We've all been there.
Accused of touching a little girl.
Not just a little girl, a whole school.
And then, and it escalates whole school.
Don't you hate it when that happens? Sucks.
So I'm glad we're reviewing this Christmas movie.
Yeah, and it is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, as much as Die Hard is a Christmas movie, this is also a Christmas movie.
Yeah, because they're doing the Christmas Eve service is when the church scene.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like the climax of the whole movie. And this, as the trailer kind of pointed out, it was backwards, but I believe that it was a winner at Cannes at the Cannes Film Festival. I don't know if it won the Palme d'Or, but it was definitely. It was
nominated for the best foreign language Oscar, and And then also nominated for the BAFTAs, Best Foreign Language Movie as well. I
Oh,
don't know
okay.
about Cannes.
It might have been a selection at Cannes.
Thomas Vinterberg won the Palme d'Or, Best Actor for Mads Mikkelsen at Cannes. And yeah, that's it at Cannes.
Yeah. And I think this is all of our first time watching this movie.
It is.
I've seen it.
You've seen it before? I after watching it, I knew what the subject matter was going in, but after watching it, I feel like this is going to be kind of a hard movie to talk about.
Yeah.
Which
makes it interesting.
Yeah.
Not me. I have a lot to say.
I can't wait to defend this guy. All the child molesters out there. Wrongly accused.
Yeah.
Or rightly accused, but you know.
Yeah, because it's a very serious subject matter, and it's portrayed in a very real way. It feels like
very earnest,
very grounded.
It feels natural.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it almost does. It's kind of hard for me to like criticize it, I guess, in a way. But I guess let's get some initial thoughts. Pete, is your second viewing?
Second watch. Yeah, second watch. And Vinterberg, I didn't know who he was when I first watched The Hunt, but it was known to me as a very interesting movie about an interesting subject matter and almost like a reflection on the human psychology and like groupthink mentality in society. And it didn't disappoint. I love Mads Mikkelsen in anything, so you know I think he was a very sympathetic character to be in the lead, and also he does have a little bit of a creep factor just by the nature of his looks. Like he already has a little bit of a nefarious look, so if people are instantly saying, "Oh, this guy is a villain" or "This guy is a creep" or whatever, I can understand why someone would be a little bit more disposed to say, "Yeah, maybe." And he plays a downtrodden, sort of lonely man in a good way. He's very
kind of like in Another Round as well.
Yeah,
also a teacher.
Very similar.
It's actually the same character.
He's come a long way.
Yeah,
started drinking. Hit the sauce real hard.
It was a prequel.
So I mean, I thought he did good. Very understated until he wasn't. You know, that most of it is him just quietly living his life until shit hits the fan. And I think the really interesting thing about the movie is putting yourself in his shoes and thinking, what would I do if I was falsely accused of something like this? Like a false rape accusation is almost as bad as a rape accusation, a real rape accusation. And this is what they talk about in The Life of David Gale with our old pal, what's his name? Kevin Spacey? Yeah, Spacey. Shithead Spacey.
Yeah, the spaceman.
Yeah, he gets a false rape accusation that ruins his life, and then the movie kind of takes off from there. You know, in this world, in this story, no child is being molested. Like, it is not happening.
Or maybe it is.
I mean, maybe the daughter definitely has some. She's exposed to pornography on screen, which is definitely gross and not good for her.
Yeah.
But, you know, the character who's accused of it, there's no question about it. It's not like he is molesting her and then all of a sudden he's caught, or you're not sure did he, didn't she?
They
whatever.
put a clear picture of
It's
it.
very clear that he's falsely accused, not maybe he actually did it. So, you know, his response to what's happening is, I think, the interesting part and the really, really fascinating part about the writing and the impressive part about the writing. Because there's moments throughout the movie where he's making decisions where you're like, bro, you are not helping your case. You know, fighting the guy back in the supermarket doesn't seem like you're making the case. Screaming down people in the church, definitely not helping your case. But at the same time, it's like, you just submit and become a recluse, abandon your life, move out of the country or whatever, to where people like started afresh as a middle-aged, slightly maybe above middle-aged man, and abandon your child and abandon your family and friends and stuff like that? Or do you push back and say, I know you hate me, but it's bullshit. What you're saying is bullshit, and I'm not going to succumb to it.
Yeah.
You know? So it is interesting to think about in terms of that.
And the public perception of you, even if it is, and like, it was false, everybody. It's still, you still have those people, as illustrated by the very end of the movie.
Yeah. And just when you think it's like, okay, well, the father the father takes him back under his wing. He accepts him as a friend again. He becomes part of the tribe yet again. And then, but everybody's still shifty-eyed. Even though the father of the supposedly the abused.
Well, I think the end really.
Yeah, it's a great ending because it's like
it's horrifying.
Just when you think he's out, he's
They
never
pull him back
He's
in.
never gonna be able to not look over his shoulder.
Yeah.
So parts I didn't like the fact that Annie, what's the dog's name?
Fanny.
Oh, Fanny. Yeah, that was rough.
Didn't like the Fanny die.
Rough.
I knew it was gonna happen. The first time I watched it, I forgot about it until halfway through the movie. And this time, I'm like, oh no, oh Fanny, she's so sweet.
Oh no,
no, not Fanny. It's gonna happen.
It's so fucked up.
I know. It's like, why take the sins of the father onto the sins of the dog? You know. So, anyway,
They're simpletons.
Yeah, and on top of that, the way the film is shot too just gives you a really clear snapshot of this really sweet way of life. It's like very quiet. Everybody walks to work.
We're a small town.
Yeah, everybody knows everybody. And he's got, yes, it's sad, and you feel bad for him because of the kid, and you can't see the kid, and his wife is not understanding and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's like he's still living a decent little life, and he's just got his little way, and he's trying
Got a palatial estate.
I don't know about that, but he's,
You don't know.
He has an estate.
yeah, he's got a small house. So I don't know. It's an interesting. It feels like a very like real look at that way of life, and then just one quick whip into the like a hard left turn, and it fucks everything up.
Yeah.
Watching that interrogation scene of the little girl, and then every adult interaction with her afterwards was so hard to watch. It's so cringy when they're like, if you don't say this, you can't go play in the playground again.
Yeah.
You know, I know you're lying. You need to tell us what happened. And you're like, just let her be.
Well, because they're like coaxing her and being a child, impressionable, and all that stuff.
But at the same time, had it really had happened, that's what you want to do. You want to find the truth and get it out of the child, so you can take this potential predator out of the flock. You know, take the wolf out of the flock. Yeah. So it's really towing a strange line with the social, mores of what that really means, and cancel culture sort of feel about, but like a violent canceling of the culture within the tribe, because this is what you would do in a tribe if you were a tribe.
Yeah,
right.
And this small town makes it feel like a tribe, not like a society.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're evil. We're casting you out. You can't shop here. We won't sell you pork chops. You can't come to church. You're gone.
Yeah.
And there's only a very few small group of people who like believe him and will advocate for him, and they're becoming pariahs as well. Right. So I kind of expected his friend to turn on him with the Godfather with the glasses.
Yeah.
To be like at some point, hey man, I believe you, I trust you, but
can't be seen with you.
The heat's too hot.
Yeah.
You're bringing me down with you, so I gotta distance myself.
He lived in a
sorry.
palatial estate.
Yes. Yeah, that's different. So, anyways, just as great the second time, maybe even better. Really good.
Okay, Tyler, this is your first time watching, right?
Yes, it is. And so I came into this movie thinking it was going to be a battle royale situation.
Okay.
I thought that Mad Mikkelsen was going to be hunted. Quite literally, not in the sense that the movie portrays. This was I wrestled with this thought because yes, it is a very good movie. It's very well shot, very well acted, but is it almost too real to be in like entertainment? Because we watch movies for entertainment, right?
No, not always.
Well, I do. And so
that's a you, not we.
Okay, well,
if that's your goal, I was watching this morning, and producer Justice walked in the room, and I told him the basic plot of it. It was like right when
he just walked out.
No, he said, "Tell me from a person who really loves movies, why would you watch a movie like this? Isn't it escapism? Isn't that the goal?" And I'm like, we had a little talk about it. I'm like, it's not always the goal.
Yeah.
For me, the goal sometimes with movies is to feel emotions that I don't want to feel in my real life.
Well, so
like a roller coaster ride,
That's an interesting conversation because this movie really evokes that kind of conversation. Because I don't watch movies necessarily for escapism, but this movie definitely is not a movie that you're just gonna pop on just to watch.
It's not light fare.
Like, yeah. And I think that it's, for myself, it was very too real. Not to say that's a detriment to the film. Just initial thoughts. I loved the movie.
Oh, okay.
I think it was very, very well done. It was almost too well done.
It was too good.
It was, it was almost too good because I felt like I was a fly on the wall watching this situation unfold. There was no,
It's too good.
there was no lulls. There was no lulls in the movie. The plot moved forward. The ending was satisfying.
I didn't like that.
It frustrated me to no end. And it also frustrated me because the antagonist, Clara,
The villain, the true
The
villain.
villain of this story.
the villain in the story is who I would name my unborn daughter. And so I was like,
Not anymore.
not anymore. No.
Clara with a K.
I think Agnes was the villain. She's the leader of the kindergarten.
I know. Oh, the one that
Agnes.
fires him, right?
Yeah, the one that's like accuses him.
I
baselessly.
believe the children.
Yeah, she's basically
Without question.
coerces the child into it. I mean,
Yeah.
hashtag believe women, Tyler.
Well, I thought that was in the chat. But yeah, this was it was heavier than I expected. I was expecting, I was expecting like a really cheesy movie, like
So when you-
involving a
when-
man getting hunted in the woods.
So even though we had already reviewed a movie called The Hunt that was a battle royale style type of movie, you were expecting another movie
same
of the
one.
same exact genre,
Like a remake?
called the exact same thing.
I did. I did.
That just shows that he doesn't listen to us when we're talking because
I
we
did.
we gave the synopsis of the movie when you put it on the wheel a couple times since then,
Oh,
and mentioned that it was
Yeah.
the Mads Mikkelsen one, very different than the
I
2020.
replaced it after we reviewed the other
I
one.
know. I mean, that's just a that just shows my shortcomings
So
as
you,
a
you,
human
you,
being
you
and
hit
a
play.
friend.
You hit
and-
play on the movie, and you're like,
So, I
I'm
mean-
gonna have
I
a
mean-
romping good time watching this battle royale movie.
Well, I didn't think I was gonna have a good time. I just thought
The worst part is his pants were already off when he started the movie.
that's well, yeah. I quickly pulled my pants back.
Oh God!
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought
not for
that.
this movie.
No, I think this is like one of those movies where Call Me by Your Name is probably a good metaphor to this movie, where it's like it feels like you're not, well, you are watching a movie, but it feels like you're watching a point of view of life.
Slice of life.
Yeah, like a slice of life, and not in a good way, because people always say like a slice of life as describing movies as a good thing. This is not a good thing.
This slice of life is not good.
And
Ultra Hell.
and this guy really does go through ultra hell,
Yeah.
because but here's the genius of this movie is that you almost believe that he actually did those terrible things to
Do
those
you?
children.
Well, you mentioned, was there a point in the movie that there was a question that there was abuse?
Not him.
Oh, that maybe somebody else was abusing the kids?
Yeah.
No, I think
I thought that was going to be a reveal, and it's kind of implies at the end, near the end. That I'm like, because she. I know. Like, are you done with your initial thoughts?
Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
Okay.
Loved it.
Well,
Too good.
Anyway, we'll get into that in a second. We'll go back to that.
Okay.
My initial thoughts. Yeah, I mean, it's a really well acted, well crafted story that is very tragic, sad, and you think obviously like by the end it's like all is better now, but is it? Like, it's not. It's not, because you have that very, very unsettling jump scare at the end, and it's like there's some people out there who still think that, still have that
Well, it's just
impression.
like
you know?
True Detective season 1.
It's the sprawl.
Yeah, it's just real. I mean, it's hard for me to find anything really that detracts from it. It is definitely something that you can't just throw on and like, I'm gonna do some cleaning. Let's throw on The Hunt.
No, you cannot. No,
First
you
of all, you don't
can.
speak Danish.
Yeah.
You want to change it to you?
Oh yeah. And it's not casual viewing.
No.
Yeah, especially if you don't speak Danish or understand Danish, because you really have to pay attention.
You do. Yeah.
And but like the kind of what you were saying, Pete, about his character, like I don't think that was the smart move.
Yeah,
maybe
there's
not
a couple of those.
As much as I want you to beat those guys up,
Yeah.
but like, maybe you shouldn't do that because it definitely does not do you any favors and put you in a good light.
Yeah.
You know,
it-
I did like him going to the church and him confronting him in front of everybody.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like a bigger confrontation with everybody, but it was just with him,
dad.
with his friend, with the dad. And that was acting. Like that was really, really good. And then and his son comes, and then everybody's talking to the son like, hey, your dad can't come here and you can't come in here either.
Yeah.
Was because affecting people around him.
Yeah.
All
They're
from
being
this
brought down.
all from this very little white lie.
Because I wouldn't say it's a little white lie. I mean, it's a white
Well,
lie.
it's
because
something that
coming
just
from a white person. But
very good. There's like this little spark that then ignited everything.
Yeah.
And when the I guess the inciting incident for her to make that like accusation or whatever, because she's feeling rejected and feeling
weird
and just like angry at Lucas, when she like goes in and like just like kisses him, I was like,
Yeah,
whoa.
yeah.
I was like, not allowed. that was so odd.
And he puts a stop to it
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah, he does.
Which
It's
is
like-
like he did the right thing and it backfired on him.
Yeah.
If only he just was like more proactive.
Sure. To tell everybody, hey, just so you know, we need to separate us a little bit because she's got this schoolyard crush that's just turning into more.
Yeah. It's and she gave me this thing.
Yeah, the
heart thing.
But that's pretty innocent.
Yeah, that.
But the kissing not.
In and of itself, probably. But yeah, with that, I think if you could have avoided this whole situation if you just told somebody before.
Yeah, come on, Lucas.
But yeah, overall, just like really solid movie. I mean, uncomfortable and sad at times when he's like people are hitting more and more people are turning against him, and you just feel really frustrated that nobody will believe him, or even like they just go instant to like instantly he's guilty.
Yeah,
it was sad.
I mean,
too. Wow, sorry. Did you on your initial thoughts?
But by the end, then in that jump scare happens in the woods when they're hunting, it ended up being kind of
fucking scene,
kind of a depressing ending a little bit.
Yeah,
it is.
But yeah, I really, really good. I really enjoyed it.
I'm sorry. Did you say this was your first time watching it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also my first time watching it.
Yeah, I think what this movie really succeeds at is it makes you there was a point in the movie, and I think this was probably like in the second act, maybe like bordering onto the third act. I thought that Lucas was actually doing those terrible things, and that we were
Dallas agrees with you too. He says in the chat, I started thinking that he was guilty.
But that's what makes this movie so impactful, is because why would you not believe a child who says those horrific things?
Sure.
I mean, like, it's the same thing with people who are victims of sexual assault, sexual abuse, and rape and stuff. Like,
children's are people.
Oh, they are?
Children's are people.
Children's are people.
I'm just saying, like, people
like adults.
So, I mean, you look at the statistics of sexual violence, and the false accusations are like within like the 1% percentile of it being actually false, and then like 99% of the time it's true. So
how can you know that? How are those statistics possible to even make?
Let's look that up. Sexual.
No,
Please don't
it's-
Google that on my
no,
account.
we
Please
don't-
don't
we
Google
don't-
that.
Why is your picture on your Tyler?
Oh Jesus!
It's Megan's law. It's just it's going off. It actually alerted us.
Do you have a school within a mile of you?
My
What
house is glowing red on the map right now.
What I'm
Why is that?
saying, when it comes to sexual violence crimes, like 99% of the time, and I'm not pulling out an accurate.
It sounds like you're pulling something out of your ass right now.
But most of the time, it's very true and accurate. And so when you go into,
I'm not
when you-
discrediting people who are accusing it, but where did that number come from? 99% of the time.
I won't get into that.
Where are your sources?
It was my court mandated class I took. Where I learned all these things.
Okay, let's not. paint
You are
myself-
the 99%.
Let's
of
paint
child
myself in a light. I didn't cut that out. Take the shoes for that.
Get to the point.
All I'm saying is, going into this movie, knowing the subject matter now, it's very easy to fall into line with like that group sort of mentality. That, okay, so I can't even imagine my daughter. I don't have a daughter, but if I did, and she said something along the lines of, "Oh well, Lucas, he had his penis pointed up to the sky and showed it to me," like, you're gonna believe that.
Yeah, you will immediately believe your daughter over anybody.
You're gonna be like, "What the?"
Well, you'd be extremely alarming to hear that.
Yeah.
And you would investigate further.
I was gonna say, I feel like where the investigation stops is the big problem for me in this whole thing. Like, everybody immediately, as soon as they hear that, they stop. And if it was a 15-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 5-year-old, there's a chance that, you know, they're gonna say it the one time and they're not gonna want to say it again because it's traumatic or whatever. You know? Even as an adult, that could be the case. But for the most part, it's like in these like rape accusation cases, you have to give the testimony and then recant the testimony and then confirm and then like affidavit and all this kind of crap because you're essentially signing someone's death warrant,
right,
for their life.
Exactly. And even when he was found proven not guilty of the accusations that were accosted to him,
how long do you think that was from the time that the accusation happened to the time that
it was a year?
A year?
Yeah, it was a whole it was a
wait,
long year.
Finish the question.
How long was it from the time that the accusation happened to the time that he was basically found not guilty of all that? In a movie.
I mean, we don't see him get found not guilty.
Well, like, it's more or less like this.
It's probably like within 6 months.
No, it was a year because
it's a year between it happening and then them like being back together again and hanging out.
Yeah, so a year.
So not a year, but
no, not a year, but
within that year,
let's
just
say within that first year, even if it was a month of, you know, from that of hell, and a month of like your life being turned upside down and all the friends and family who you thought were your friends and family turning on you because of this accusation. It's like, even once you wash the stain away, you're always going to be the guy that people think might have molested a little girl.
And I think what is successful about this movie is that all of the actors involved in the writing and the way that everyone emotes and responds to the situation feels so realistic. That's why I said it feels too good, because it feels exactly like this would happen in a Scandinavian sort of community. And the guy and Lucas, the main character Lucas, he handles it exactly how you would handle like a false accusation,
punching people in the supermarket.
That was after. That's when he lost his cool. But in the beginning, he goes through the motions. And you can tell, like, through the way that his like facial expressions are, like, of course this pains him. He knows this is ruining his life. But there's nothing you can do, because if you react even in a sort of way where you might be found guilty, it's over for you.
I don't think that there's no rule book for it, but I think he did okay.
Like, you're not
given the circumstances.
You're not gonna.
For someone who didn't do it, yeah.
Like, if you're gonna react in a very bombastic sort of way, like, of course, we all know that he didn't do it, and you're thinking in a knee-jerk reaction, at least for myself when I was watching the movie, I remember seeing Clarice standing at the end of the stairs towards the end.
Oh yeah, when she's
like, there's too many lines on the
you could just not do the accent. That'd be great.
And then
Joe Bridges says your Danish accent is a 0 out of 100.
Well, I don't.
Lazy and flat. It is.
Yeah, whatever. You can't all be winners, Joe. But
one day we'll get one.
I was thinking to myself, push her down the goddamn stairs.
What the fuck?
Push that little girl down the stairs. Make her break her neck. Because
there you go. I was waiting for it. I'm going to move on from Tyler requesting a character to abuse a child further. And Heather mentioned that there's this real life situation called the McMartin preschool trial. And it's basically a daycare that there was a sexual abuse case in the 1980s in LA. It was a coastal beach town. And I think on one mom in 1983, Judy Johnson, mother of one of the preschool's young students, reported to police that her son had been sodomized by her estranged husband and also by a McMartin teacher, Ray Bucky. He was the grandson of a former school founder, blah, 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 blah. And then there was a huge trial about it. And essentially a letter went out to the family of all the students and basically said, this happened. Ask your children if they also got molested. Mm-hmm. And through the trial, there was a series. I'm just reading a brief synopsis of this. But there was like manipulation of the testimonies, kind of like this, where they like leaned on the kids to give testimony. And a lot of them originally denied anything happened. And then through multiple sets of manipulations and media twistings of the story, you get a bastardized version of the truth, where they were looking for a win in the case, not necessarily true justice.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. But I found a 416-page paper from the U.S. Department of Justice that wrote all about it. You can download that for free. There's a HBO original TV movie from 1995 starring James Woods.
James Woods.
Yeah, James Woods from 1995. That Heather says she hasn't seen it in a while, but she remembers it being fine. And then an episode of an investigation discovery series. Season 1, episode 3 is all about this. It's only a 45-minute thing. Yeah. They had one about the Atlanta Olympic bombing. They got one about the Menendez brothers, about the Selena killing. And this one episode is, so I'm gonna dive into this a little bit after this to give an idea of how true to life this might have influenced the hunt.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
An American or California-based story made its way all the way to.
Oh, you think
all the way to
You
Denmark?
think California doesn't influence Denmark? You know what I'm saying.
I think
that's why all the accents around the world are being erased.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think also the parents of the alleged victim did a wonderful job because
actors or the actual characters.
The actors, yeah, I thought they did a wonderful job because if you think about it, you're not gonna. Some people would respond with violence and vitriol and
vengeance,
vengeance. And why I really like the realism in this movie is that everyone is very restrained with their emotions because you think about child abuse, you think it would be like. If either of us had like children and like we were accused of abusing our own children or something like that, like the implication and the emotional turmoil that you have to process, like, it's so great that instead of responding like in a very aggressive emotional way, in this movie they go through like the processes, they go through the standards. We're gonna go through the teacher, we're gonna go through the police. We're gonna give they somewhat give the benefit of the doubt in this movie, but in the back of the head, like they're restraining they're restraining
the first interaction between his best friend and him and Lucas. when he says, I think we need to talk. And he comes in, he's clearly teary-eyed. He's been weeping.
Yeah.
And they're like having a real conversation about it. And he's like, you don't think I did it, right? Do you? And he's like, I just don't know.
Yeah.
You know, Clara wouldn't make something up like that. She doesn't lie. And you're like, in your head, you're like, yeah, she does.
Why would she lie
all
now?
the time. She does, for one. And for two, I don't even think it's necessarily a lie. Anyways, but they're having this whole heart-to-heart. And he's like, I don't know. I feel like I have to believe her, but you're my best friend. And then when he gets up and the wife gets involved and she starts kind of beating him up as he's leaving, the husband breaks too. And he like kind of like puts him in a headlock and pushes him against the wall and stuff. And you're just like, it's the emotions are so complex. You can't even blame him for it. You know?
Yeah.
It's almost like, yes, maybe you are throwing away a great friendship, a lifelong friendship, but for the safety of your child, if it was true, it's like, I don't even care if it is true. Fucking gone, you know?
Yeah.
So
I
don't know.
But that's like the whole tragedy of the hunt is that in the end, his best friend believes him.
And that's the tragedy.
The tragedy is that he believes him that he didn't do it, but
he actually did it. He got away with it.
Oh, jeez.
Now, what I think what I got, what was being implied, in my opinion, was that it was the dad who was actually abusing his daughter.
Oh, I thought that too.
Wow.
Because in one instance, when she shows up at his door, like by herself, Clara, and to Mads Mikkelsen, to Lucas's door, he's like, "Where's your mom?" And then she mentions like an instance of like, "Oh, the others, like there were other people involved in this abuse."
It's the sprawl,
right? And then he's like, "What do you mean the others?" And then she doesn't mention it again. And then towards the end of the movie, when she's like going to sleep, she sees Fanny in the hallway.
Yes.
And then
the dad.
And then the dad, and she goes, "Lucas?" And in her daze, right, in her like falling asleep, tired phase, and he's like silhouetted and walking in like,
maybe because she sees Lucas as like a
father figure,
like a shining light.
But it made it seem like the implication was that
she confused
she confused
Lucas with her dad.
Yes, or something like that. Because she saw Fanny, and Fanny's actually not there at this point. Fanny's dead.
I took that as just showing how active her imagination is.
I mean, that could also just be it as well. It could also be that the throwaway line she had earlier, like saying that she was actually being abused, because the way she is acting, the little girl is acting, it feels very like she's going through trauma.
It
like
does.
actually she has been abused and is going through trauma.
She seems despondent.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Especially
I think Joseph's in the middle of a sentence, bro.
I mean, thank you for agreeing with me.
No problem.
But
no problem, friend.
But yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I gathered was the implication. And even early in the movie, before all of that, I was like, I feel like it's the dad. I thought that was like going to be the twist.
Yeah, he looks like a creep.
That would make me sad because I liked him. He's got those beady eyes.
He's got that. He's got that crazy facial hair and top of his head hair.
Yeah.
He could use a trip to the stylist.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think that's actually his natural colors, but yeah, that scene towards the end when she like actually confesses and she's like, "Oh, he didn't actually do anything. Like there was nothing," and him being so emotional a lot of the time in different scenes. It felt like he was carrying guilt because he's watching his friend go through something that he did.
Interesting.
That was my takeaway, and there's no clear answer.
Sure, yeah.
But that was my assumption.
I agree with that because he definitely does have a sort of air to himself when after the accusations come out that he has this sort of guilty attitude. Because at least the way that he was emoting, the actor, he felt like he knew he wasn't guilty before it came out that he wasn't guilty. Like, he knew something was going on. And so there was the police report where the children said that they were in a basement and there was tapestries. Obviously, when they went to Lucas's house, there was no basement or tapestries. So I think that...
But Clara's dad had a basement.
Correct.
No, he didn't. They just never.
No, he did have a basement. He did have a basement.
Did he?
No, it doesn't show it in the movie.
Yeah, he does. It does show it.
When and where?
It does show it. When they got together to hang out.
That was in the
the
kitchen.
beginning of the movie.
They're in the kitchen.
Oh, I guess there's a downstairs kitchen. I got confused with.
No, that was the Pizzagate basement.
Oh,
Yeah.
There is. I don't know if it's a basement, but when he goes to his godfather, not his godfather, but
the godfather,
the godfather's house. They go to that, like, oh, it looks like a basement. There's no windows, and it's like a kitchenette, and they're
that's what I was thinking.
That was after that was not his friend's house.
It was somebody else.
That was the godfather's house.
So maybe the godfather's the one. Oh, shit.
The godfather did it.
Oh man!
Look at what they did to my boy.
They shot Sonny on the causeway. Oh wait, no, they molested my daughter.
I got some trivia. The child actress who played Clara was never told exactly what Lucas was accused of. She was only told that her character lied about him committing a crime. Think about that whenever you have these really heavy subject matters for child actors.
Yeah.
You're like, your character says something bad. But then they also got to like give her the speech about the rod and the pointing
the white
straight up.
stuff coming out.
But she doesn't have to be there for that.
But she's still.
line.
Oh yeah.
The way they shoot it.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, they have a reverse shot, and so it's the other guy. Thomas Bo Larson's fake beard, which is the guy, would constantly fall off due to the enormous amounts of alcohol in his blood. He was struggling with alcoholism at the time of the filming. What?
Wow.
And then they put him in another round.
That movie took a toll on him.
So The Celebration was in 1998. That's a movie about a celebration of life, and there's like a daughter who commits suicide, and the father asks the son to read a eulogy, and he writes his own eulogy to like release some sort of family secret or something like that. After that movie was released, Thomas Vinterberg was approached by child psychiatrist or psychologist Soren Fries Smith, congratulating him on the celebration and giving him a pile of newspaper articles, scientific reports, and personal notes about cases where people had been wrongfully accused of pedophilia, telling him he should make a movie about the subject. I wouldn't be surprised if the McMartin trials were on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The movie was so frustrating because there's always the knee-jerk reaction of when you're falsely accused of something that you want to just immediately just like, no, I didn't do it. How dare you?
Yeah. Even like,
but with it just, you can't, you have to follow it with tact, like especially as serious as like child abuse. You can't, if you, well, I mean, I don't know. It feels like Lucas took the right turn and basically was I don't want to say apathetic to his situation, but he showed no emotion except for towards when he couldn't shop and get his groceries. I think that was like that was the breaking point.
Well, then his girlfriend, when he kicks her out, because he doesn't like fully believe that she doesn't believe he did it.
Yeah.
And so like he just kind of like leans into like, I molested this kid, so you might as well just get out of here.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like the power of the like the group mindset of human beings, is that you have this one accusation that's very serious, that's evil in our society.
Evil.
And then it cascades into ruining someone's life. And then with the ending of the movie, it still haunts him to the day. Like, it doesn't matter if everyone believes him or not. Like, they still have that. He still has that target on his back.
There's an alternate ending on the Blu-ray.
Oh,
alternate, really?
Yeah, that Mads Mikkelsen is shot by a member of the village and left to die in the woods.
Oh,
That's the alternate ending.
I wouldn't
so
like
he
that
actually
ending.
gets shot.
He gets shot and dies. Yeah.
Oh
wouldn't
god,
like
what
that.
a bleak ending.
I know that would suck.
That would be a dumb. That's not. I like the ending that was given.
Wow.
Some elements of the actual story from the plot share a painful resemblance to the real story of Escola Base in Sao Paulo, Brazil, in 1994. There are mainly the reports of sexual encounters in a non-existent basement. Exaggerated accounts of children's words and violence against the owners and the faculty are very close to what happened. So again, another real life scenario. And then the scene that we were talking about before, where Lucas goes to see his Theos, his best friend, and basically tell him we need to talk about this. Theo's character is staring into Lucas's eyes to look out for that tick to prove that he's lying.
The lie tick, yeah.
Because at the beginning, he says, "Oh yeah, I can tell when you're lying. You tick.
Yeah.
You have like a eye twitch or whatever." And he's like, he's looking for that. He's very closely and staring at him.
And he does that at the church.
That too, I think.
Yeah, because he like looks back at him, at his friend, and then he
talks to his wife.
Theo. He tells his wife, he's like, I can see it in his eyes, or whatever.
Also, it's made it into the top 250 of all time IMDb, as well as the Celebration. So the first two movies from Thomas Vinterberg that made it in the top 250.
It's an incredible movie.
Really great.
It really
sad and bleak, but good, really good.
Yeah, it's just it's interesting because after I finished the movie, I had the expectations I went into this movie were vastly different than
I was being like Edge the whole time.
No, please no. I vastly had way different expectations, and then I remember when I finished this movie, I was like, "Holy fuck! What masterpiece did I just watch?" Oh, The Hunt.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's what
name of the movie. Joke 3: kick the kid down the stairs.
In that order.
No, yeah, Claire needed to get kicked down the stairs. I would have done a freaking 300 Spartan-esque kick.
All right.
And I'm like, I don't know. She just fell down the stairs. She doesn't like to walk on lines. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't want to touch her. You know what happened last time?
When he
movie.
grabbed the child at the end of the stairs, I was like,
It was a really good scene too, because he's been vindicated.
Yeah.
But you've already saw in the downstairs scene when they're giving his son the gun, he's looking and everyone's glancing at him. Like, not everybody, but 2 or 3 people in the crowd are like looking at him and then look away.
Yeah.
They're still
on
side-eyeing
the watch.
They're still confused.
They're still side-eyeing
So when she
him,
comes
yep.
and she's got this distance and he looks, and the shot, the way she's looking at
yeah,
him.
oh my god,
It's almost just like, can you pick me up, please? And he's like, I love this little girl. She's my best friend's daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but should I?
Yeah.
What would the perception be?
Yeah,
if somebody saw
exactly.
me, the implication.
It would be kind of funny if he like looked over his shoulder and then like grinned. And then it just cuts away.
And then it ends there.
That's the alternate ending we needed.
And then Bad to the Bone starts playing.
Bad to the Oh, I didn't know how we could make a comedic ending to this movie, but we somehow
we did it. We did it.
I have all of these drops here. I put on the board.
Well,
that 15-year-old's pretty high.
well,
Just
no,
fuck already. Can you get it over with,
well, who's
please?
the person who shot the gun at the end?
Who?
It doesn't matter.
Just a random person.
No, but who do you think it
doesn't
was?
matter.
Well, we don't know.
Well,
that.
it's not. It doesn't matter. It
doesn't matter.
It's not about. It does. I know it doesn't matter.
There's
but
like
who do you
12
think it
people
was?
it could be, and none of them I know their names. So
Or I saw them.
I think it was The Godfather.
No, I don't think
no
it was.
fucking way.
Yeah, no, I think it was The Godfather.
Great manufactured hot take there, Tyler. Very good.
What can
I think
say?
it was the same person who killed the dog.
Yeah, probably. That's probably accurate
Yeah,
concession.
the dog killing was
Leave
a little.
Fanny out of it.
Fanny did nothing. It was a
I know.
sweet dog.
Hashtag justice for Fanny. Hashtag
justice
Fanny did
for-
nothing.
Yeah, Fanny did.
Fanny
nothing.
Gate.
Yeah, they hung the dog too. They didn't just like shoot and kill her. They just hung her. Like that's so terrible.
How could you do that?
Yeah.
How can you do that? Actually, I know how you could do that. I mean, you just turn,
I'm your
you
host, Outrageous Tyler.
Yeah.
Turn it. When it comes to killing another thing, you just turn it off.
We bring the boom!
All right, that's The Hunt.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's throw some grades on this bad boy. This Christmas movie, The Hunt.
A. Joe Bridges says it was his like 8th or 9th favorite movie from that year. Very good. Yeah, solid. Great. I mean, watch it. Be ready to be a little depressed and think a lot when you're done with it.
Yeah.
Don't go into it with high expectations or have your pants off like Tyler when he first started the movie. It's not an entertaining movie. It's not an action romp. It's not a battle royale.
Nope.
It is a think piece and a tragedy porn in a way.
I'm about to have the hardest boner right now.
That's right. So, anyways, yeah, really good. Watch The Hunt.
We bring the boom!
Tyler, what'd you think?
Oh man, yeah, solid A movie. This is gonna go down as just a classic film. There's no other way around it. It's so strangely realistic that it could be off-putting. I mean, obviously the subject matter is off-putting, but I think the realism and the acting of it all is so. I think off-putting is the wrong characterization. I think it's just when I was watching the movie, I didn't feel like I was watching a documentary. I didn't feel like I was watching a movie.
Oh,
wasn't me. I'm muted.
Oh, okay. Heard a loud gulp.
No,
sound like Nosferatu drinking blood.
Can you make that sound with your throat when you listen to this?
Oh no, I can't do that.
Oh yeah, I mean that's how I swallow at the time.
No, just without even drinking water.
No, don't put that. No, God damn it, I shouldn't have said that. God damn it.
Brianna hates it when I do that. It's a really loud gulp.
Yeah, I do that as well.
Oh, there's a man trapped in there.
Yeah.
But The Hunt, definitely, I think anyone who says they're a fan of film should check this out.
And you're even not a fan of film, and you checked it out.
Oh, no.
I know. I
Go
hate.
figure.
I know. I hate movies, and yet here I am.
Just a fan of child molestation. I don't know, man. That 15-year-old's pretty hot.
Take the shears.
Okay. I was being like edged the whole time.
Stop it.
Solid A.
Yes.
We bring the boom!
I really hope I don't get arrested because this show is gonna get me killed in prison.
You think they listen to the show in prison?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's where half of our listeners are from.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm sure.
Yeah, they're Amazon Echo Dots in their prison cells.
Well, I mean, Jack Fitz is from a prison island.
That's true. An entire country of made prisoners.
Yeah, solid A. The Hunt. Check it out, please.
Okay. Yeah. A's all around, I think. Solid A's.
It's a AAA show.
AAA movie, AAA show. Very, very good, dramatic, well acted, well shot, edited, put together movie. Yeah,
it's a weird movie, man. It's weird. It's weird how good it is.
I don't know. Well, it's not weird how good it is.
It's weird. I don't
Why
know.
is it weird?
It's just weird how good. Maybe I haven't been watching good movies recently, so.
We did have an anti-stream pick. Oh, you watched Polar Express. Yeah, that's what you watched. But you did watch Nosferatu.
I know that was
kind of whiplash in terms of type of movie. But
headache thinking about it.
But yeah, really good. Maybe there's some like ambiguous implications there or I'm just like analyzing it too much or thinking too hard about it.
No, that's the point.
But for a movie that like takes place in essentially reality, like as almost as real as you could get, almost. You wouldn't think that the filmmaker would put in that little like maybe this is.
I think I think it's on purpose.
Yeah, like
I think so because that's the doubt of the townspeople.
Yeah.
Is magnified and it makes you feel the same way.
Yeah. But yeah, so solid A. That was The Hunt.
We bring the boom!
Now it's time for the wheel.
Wheel. 8 slots.
Oh, oops.
3
The
hooks.
wheel.
This is
Wheel.
the wheel of
Wheel.
destiny.
That's right. I forgot to reset the sound drop when I missed it last time. So The Hunt is off the wheel. Joseph, what are you going to replace it with?
Well, I'm gonna do a more fun genre.
Nice.
More something that falls under the category of entertaining.
Schindler's List.
Yeah. I'm gonna replace The Hunt.
Okay.
With
Hunt.
Mystery Men.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Man.
Mystery Men, a 1999 comedy starring Ben Stiller, Janine Garofalo, William H. Macy, Hank Azaria, Kel Mitchell, Paul Rubens,
Who directed it?
Greg Kinnear, Kinka Usher.
What?
Kinka Usher.
Wait, you said Janine Garofalo's in it?
Yes.
Oh,
One of Tyler's Dream Girls.
yes.
Jeffrey Rush, Eddie Izzard, Artie Lang, Tom Waits.
Wow.
Tom Waits.
What a cast.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in this, and the plot of it is basically it's like a garbage. It's like a Avengers that you found in a garbage can. It's basically what it is.
It's like Guardians of the Galaxy,
but even more ridiculous and obscure.
Hey,
Like,
Ted is a fan.
If it has Janine Garofalo in it, I'm down.
this is a movie that I saw in theaters with my mom, and I remember all the characters. Paul Rubens plays the spleen, and his powers, he can throw his farts.
Oh, wow.
He can target his farts.
I feel like I remember this movie.
Hank Azaria plays like I think he's like magnetic or something. I can't remember. And Ben Stiller just gets really mad.
And I know
Damn it,
somebody's
this
got a
sounds
bowl. Somebody's a
familiar.
bowler.
Yes, somebody is a bowler.
bowling ball
William H.
face.
Macy plays like a miner, like a
yeah.
minor, not like a minor, like a child.
Okay.
And Greg Kinnear is like he's like the Superman of this world. Like everybody loves his vigilantism and not the mystery men.
Oh, looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I don't see Janine Garofalo in a whole lot, but when she's in something, she's always memorable.
Mm-hmm.
Half Baked, she's one of the stoners he sells to.
Mm-hmm.
Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion, the girl that he's her and Alan Cumming are friends in high school.
Yeah.
And what else? What else has she been in?
She had a talk show, I think.
Yeah, it's not a movie.
Janine Garofalo. She was in an episode of Seinfeld.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to recap the wheel. We got Mystery Men from Joseph, Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 from Joseph. We're going to do Flypaper from Angry Otter for the Patreon pick, Falling in Love Like in Movies from Pete, Hell Comes to Frogtown from Pete, The Fisher King from Tyler, and Killing of a Sacred Deer from Tyler. All right, so here's what we're going to watch next week.
Oh, boy.
Oh, a short spin.
Oh,
What is it?
Fisher King.
The Fisher King.
All right.
Robin Williams, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's Robin Williams.
I don't know. I don't know anything about this movie. We'll see.
What made you put it on?
I get this movie and August Rush
worry
mixed
about
up.
No, I want to know.
No, it's all right.
No, I want to
Be
know.
honest. Just say your truth, Tyler.
No, I mean,
Tell
I
them
have a fan of the show wanted us to review this movie, and
Tyler,
so
why
I
don't you just live
dutifully
your own life?
I do.
You give yourself nicknames to introduce yourself to the show with. You watch Parachute.
Yeah, I
You
did watch.
wink at the camera.
Yeah.
You're gonna dedicate an entire. Okay. We also did Safe because of that same reason.
And Holes.
Yeah,
And Space
Holes.
Jam.
Yeah.
Interesting how that works.
Yeah.
Have some agency, my boy.
Have some autonomy.
Yes.
Fisher King. I heard it was a good movie. A fan of the show.
Where's it streaming? Is it streaming anywhere?
I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, but I heard it was a good movie for us to watch and talk about.
The Fisher King.
Fisher King streaming.
Pete, it's already
Pluto TV.
He already
1991.
said he didn't really like this movie.
Watched
Joseph, he hasn't seen this movie. I haven't seen this movie either.
I probably watched it in like 2013, 2014-ish.
Oh, so a long time ago.
Yeah, a while ago.
Yeah. So
is-
I mean, I don't know. I mean, well,
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
I mean,
Robin Williams, Jeff Bridges, Amanda Plummer, Mercedes Rule.
Mercedes Rule.
Yeah, Chris Howell. David Hyde Pierce, like him.
Yeah.
Why isn't this movie The Town?
Well, you know,
Kathy Najimy, Harry Shearer. Cool.
You know what's interesting though is that this is probably the. I mean, I never get picks on the wheel.
So why
And
not use it
so-
for a movie you don't care about?
I never get picked in the wheel.
I don't sound. I didn't sound like that.
You sound like that.
Stop copying me. Stop hitting yourself.
There are two Tylers in the room, right?
It's like you're here. Tyler, can you give us a Robin Williams impression? Since we're doing a
Robin Williams
movie
impression.
Yeah.
I'll save it for next episode.
Okay, please
Okay.
work on it.
Yeah. I want a full paragraph.
I'm curious to
paragraph?
rewatch it because I just don't like. I didn't remember liking any of the movie. Like I didn't like the characters. I didn't like. I didn't like the writing. The story I didn't like.
10 years ago or 11 years ago.
I remember something similar. Someone's like, oh yeah, Fisher King's good. And I watched it. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Well, we'll
So let's
find
see- let's
out.
see.
But
changes.
are there any other movies from that time that you watched then that you watch now that you actually did like but didn't appreciate back then?
Yeah, there's some. That's what I'm saying. I'm curious to rewatch it.
Well, you'll find out, classmates,
Yeah, that's right.
about our opinions
It's
On the Fisher King.
on the Fisher King.
streaming on Pluto only.
Oh,
You
really?
can rent it, but for free. It's only on Pluto.
No,
So-
I gotta
do it.
say, it was weird watching The Hunt and then a Candy Crush ad would start playing.
That was weird. Yeah.
Mine was for Ozempic.
Oh, really?
I had a mental health like therapy thing.
Mine was the
Soluna.
app. Yeah, the app.
Soluna,
Yeah.
yeah. But again, the app was only for 13-year-olds to 25-year-olds. So I was like, oh, well,
You're
fuck, I
out.
guess.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
watching The Hunt? You should check this out.
Yeah.
All you 14-year-olds.
I know.
Okay, cool. Anything else, fellas?
That's it.
Nope.
Okay, so thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, Michael, Steven, and Chris. And if you want to support us, you can do so at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or just watch or listen to us on the YouTube page. That helps as well. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Big Red Dow stayed for the whole time. Heather was here. Joe Bridges was here. Anybody else I'm missing that was on the second half?
In the second half, I didn't.
I think that was it.
That was pretty much.
Cracking first half as well, though. We had a
Ryan Tripp, Bruce was there for a minute.
Yeah, Trip gave us a donation. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Angry Otter Eric was there. He's watching Nosferatu right now.
Yeah. Bruce gave us a recommendation.
Dan.
Oh yeah, Binge Lord Dan was there. So if you're thinking, man, I'm missing out. Why am I just listening to this on the audio podcast only? Go to the YouTube page every Saturday, 12:30 p.m. ish.
Give us a subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe, listen. What's our subscriber count right now, Joseph?
Let's take a look.
It's over 800.
It's almost 900.
872.
Yeah.
Our goal is to hit 1,000 by the end of the year. We almost got there. So
Almost got
totally fine. We're still climbing. The goal is to get 1,000 at some point, and then we can actually rub a few shekels together on the YouTube page
And other stuff.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Until next time. Thank you for joining us as we gab and chatter, give our top 5 or 10 of 2024, review Nosferatu and The Hunt. Follow us next week as we review, what was it? Fisher King.
Fisher King.
Fisher.
Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class, and please leave us a voicemail. We like to hear from our classmates at 209-283-1716.
And follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC and on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
All right. See you next time.
See ya.
See ya.
Huh?